All right, I think I am live. Hello, hello, Zen friends. Happy weekend to you. Hope you had an amazing week full of a lot of fun adventures and experiences. I'm sure we had them. Sometimes our human has a hard time recognizing the fun in them, right? I hope you're enjoying this lovely, lovely eclipse season. At the kind of grand entrance of it came in, of course, on last Saturday with our Virgo new moon. We have a Pisces full moon lunar eclipse a week from tomorrow. And then a couple weeks after that, we have a second. So they call it what, a black moon? I think they call it a black moon. It's the second um, new moon in the same month or in the same sign, which is another Virgo new moon, but it's a solar eclipse on, see if it's 21st, I think, of September, around there. So exciting, feeling all this beautiful energy. So hope you're enjoying riding the wave of this beautiful emotional experience. And to start off, we're going to bring in some beautiful love energy for us here. We'll use the singing ball. I hit it 3 times. We just let that love energy flow down, fill us up into our minds and all our stories and our thoughts, all of our heart and our emotions, into our physical bodies, into our bones and our organs and our blood and our cells, to the meridians, into our spiritual meridians, the chakras, out into our auras, filling up our life and letting it flow out to the world, allowing it to do whatever it wants to do out there to help raise the vibration of the collective and the planet. Something we can do while we're doing this to help immediately start raising our own love vibration is to focus on gratitude. Just one thing right now in this moment, the here and now, that I am grateful for. Just let that fill you up, and that allows you to receive more of that, puts you in this tune, the same frequency as receiving messages from spirit. And of course, like I said, it immediately begins to raise your love vibration too. So if you'd like to join me in doing that, I'm going to take a big deep breath and come back to this moment right here, right now, out of the future, out of the past, and come into the now. You can hold your breath for as long as you'd like. Just don't pass out, please. So here we go. Big deep breath in. All right, let's begin. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me and doing that. Some powerful energy definitely going on here. This eclipse season has a lot extra oomph to it than than the norm. All right, we'll put her back here. So, welcome all of my Zen friends. So happy to have you here. Welcome to your weekend. I hope you have a exciting weekend ahead planned for yourself. If you're new to my readings or new to this channel, welcome. First of all, we've got a great group of Zen friends full of wonderful, huge hearts and great senses of humor. Two things we can definitely use in this adventure of humanity. If you want to know how the whole process works, it's all down in the description box of the video, but donations do get first priority. We step out of the free readings, dive deeper into those too, meaning I pull more cards. Free readings are generally 1 to 2 cards. The donations, we do get a little more into the tea, as they say. Little brudda-zen PI, private investigative work, as some of you say. Cracks me up. If you want to make a donation, you can use the super chat at the bottom or in the description box of the video. I do have my Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, and Square listed there as well. I don't have any set dollar amounts on donations because I know everyone's financial situation varies and the cost of living varies across the world. The rate of exchange varies, all that, blah, blah, blah. So whatever you give from your heart, I do honor that. And after I'm done with donations, I do jump back into the free readings. I'm on for 3 hours each session. I try to get through as many free readings as I can. Last night we got through everything. So some nights I don't get to any free readings. Sometimes I get to some. Sometimes I get to them all. So it all depends. But after I'm done with each session, I do pin a posted comment listing all the readings I completed with timestamps. So you can just click on it and it goes directly to your reading. I know, super high tech. All right. I think that's everything. I'm going to be using the original tarot here, the round tarot. I love these cards. They're just really, really accurate. I love them. Also, if you make a donation tonight, for each person that makes a donation, just 1 per session. So if you make multiple donations, still just get 1 fortune cookie, as I call it. We'll be pulling from the Fairy Tale Heron Oracle this evening. So that's also included. So I think that's everything. Right now, the donations I have, we have Cat Lady of the Sea, and then we have Sarah Taylor via PayPal. Thank you. And then Christina Lowe, you'll be up after that. And then I just have a couple free readings. So we will get in here and see how this all goes. So let's get into it. All right, so we've got 818 for Cat Lady of the Sea. This 8 number of flow and new beginnings coming in here with that new numerology. Well, I like that with your question too. Will you get a remote job in September? So I'll give that a love and a like since it lets me. Let's dive in here. Almighty Cat Lady of the Sea. I saw your emoji. And mine's made of like a Capricorn, but it's instead of a sea, what is it called? A sea goat. What is that? A cat goat? I mean, are you Capricorn? Anyway, let's take a look here. It reminded me of a Capricorn because they'll show like a goat that's a mermaid, kind of a sea goat energy. It's like a cat lady of the sea, right? Exactly. All right, let's take a look here and see what we have coming in here. So will you get a remote job in September? Let's take a look here. So we've got this. We've got this. I do want these here too, and this one here. All right, what do we have going on here? Well, at the bottom of the deck, wow. You got the 9 of Pentacles, which is one of my hermit home kind of cards coming in here. So it does feel like here the underlying energy is a yes, that you do get a remote job, and the 9 card being September. Perfect there. You do have the first card coming out is Temperance, which is alchemy. So I feel like it ultimately is a remote job. You might have to like go in like for some training and in the beginning, but ultimately you end up remote. So you might have to like go somewhere in office for a week or whatever to get some training, get things set up, blah, blah, blah. And then they release you. They release the Kraken to the home there. And that's what this temperance, this building kind of energy is bringing in. What else do we have here? Yeah, we do have the Three of Wands. So this does tell me with the Three of Wands is a change of direction, or it's like it starts off this way and then you're able to choose to work remotely or go into the office kind of energy with this. Let's see what else this brings in here. Yeah, we got the Six of Cups, very much this children home kind of energy coming in. So I like that. It helps, especially if you have children, with cutting down the commute and being able to be at home, and being able to, start dinner, throw some laundry in, do all the stuff that we can do in between doing tasks or on our break or on our lunch. Much more productive, right? Able to balance stuff more. That Six of Cups balancing the emotional work and home kind of energy coming in there. So I like that. Another balancing energy. I was thinking like the Six of Wands, and here's the Six of Wands. It's a victory card, but again, another six that's, a balanced energy that comes in, three on each side. Yeah, we have the Tower card. That's here too. What's this next card next to it? And the Seven of Cups. Yeah. I feel here, with the Tower, I feel, and with the Seven of Cups, with all there's a lot of emotional energy, right? A lot of different conflicting emotions and different things that are going on below the surface of you, having to do with the Tower moments that you're going through. And I feel like that doesn't have anything to do with the job itself, besides that having this remote job and being able to do things this way allows you easy movement. It allows you to do things, and it's like the Six of Cups. It's like you have the Seven of Cups, which is conflicting and confliction around emotion. And then you're with that Six of Cups, that's balanced emotion. That's why I feel like the job at least helps alleviate some of the emotions of the unknown, the fears, all the things that the mind's thinking about. At least, okay, I've got a job, it's remote, I can balance stuff. It's not going to be like a total, you know, going back to work away from the home all day long, where it's more challenging when to balance everything. So I get that. So it feels very positive with all that. We'll get your fortune cookie here too. See what else they got going on here. All right. So let's see here from the fairy tale heroine oracle, right? Finding the heroine within yourself. Let's see what else they have here for you. What else? All right. It's this one here. And you've got shape-shifting, card number 6. So here's that unconditional love, mothering, balancing energy coming in. And the shape-shifting. She's a fox. You're like, that's right. The 6 of the circles here. All right, here we go. So fairy tales continually remind us that there's more to life on this beautiful, animate earth than we can ever possibly understand, caught up as we are in the confines of a purely human existence. They tease us with glimpses of the mysteries that lie behind the particular aspects of the physical world that humans know, mysteries that usually are hidden from us. Stories with heroines who are shapeshifters, who are just as much seal or swan as they are woman, break down for us the barriers between the human and the other than human, and between civilized and wild. Such fairy tales help us to understand that there are other ways of imagining the world and our place in it, and show us how it might be possible to live more intensely and more richly in that multi-layered and suddenly more animate world. They speak to our longing for connection, for a wildness that's very far removed now from our daily lives, and a yearning for the now extinct creatures which live on only in our imagination. Stories in which shape-shifting women marry human men don't always end well, though, reminding us that it can often be difficult to hold the balance between kinship and otherness. Wow, interesting. What wild creature is longing to burst free in you? And how can you incorporate its energy into your everyday life? Wow. There's a lot of energy within this card and that we were talking about your reading too. But I love that shape shifting that you're doing for your life here and remembering the wildness of following your heart instead of trying to live in that human only world, right? It's like uh, rewilding yourself. There's a great rewilding with Sabrina Lynn. Great astrological channel. She's very passionate, and I love her energy and her the rewilding of ourselves. So I like that. Anyway, hopefully that helps. That's what they have for you, Cat Lady of the Sea. So thank you again for your donation. All right, then we got Sarah Taylor coming in here. So Sarah, here's your timestamp, and you got 1636. So you got some 6 energy in yours too. Hey, Sarah, good to see you. Thank you for your donation. And you said your son is coming to visit this week. All right. How can you be supportive so it goes well? Absolutely. So let's take a look here. We'll take a little, based on current energies, just kind of look at how this visit is going to unfold here. And then how you can, like you said, be the most supportive for them as too. I'm doing very well. I hope you're doing well. There's a lot of fun energy going on with this eclipse season. I mean, let's see, we had the air conditioner started to leak, was starting to freeze up. And then the cable box went out with my host upstairs. And then her car battery died today. There's all this stuff going on, there's like all this, like it feels like there's like a lot of interesting moving walls and mirrors and things going on. And when we start to get frustrated, that's when we can just take a big deep breath and laugh. Her father and uncle passed away, gosh, quite a while ago. Within the last 10 years, I think. But yeah, a lot of shifting energy. But they always come to me, in addition to her mom and her grandmother too. But they came in. I call them Frick and Frack, even though they're not twins. They kind of act like it. When I first met her and I gave her a reading before we became best friends, that's how they came through. And I always go, why do I always get the southern drawl when they come through? She goes, well, because they're from Louisiana and they have southern draws. I'm like, you're kidding me, because she doesn't at all. She grew up in Texas a lot. And so it was funny that they came through with some moonshine and their straw hats and overalls and their little long, chewing on a piece of long grass or wheat or whatever those things are, and handed her some moonshine and told her to calm down. So it was funny today. All right. But evidently that's for you and me and everyone else. But it was funny. It just puts laughter is such a good energy. Whatever we focus on grows and expands, right? So if we focus on laughter and gratitude and unconditional love, that's higher vibration, we expand it. If I focus on my frustration, my fear, my anger, whatever, I get more of that too. And there's nothing wrong, right, about any emotion. There's just different choices with different experiences. So we get to choose, what we want. So I like that. All right. So the cards I got. Card you can't see. The cards I got so far down here are how the experience based on current energy will go, and then more specifically here, how can you best be supportive so it goes well. All right. Let's take a look here. All right. Thank you. What else? Okay, I do want to this one and this one and to this one. All right. All right, let's see what we got going on here. All right. I love it. The baby coming home. Bottom of the deck, we do have the sun card coming in here. Leo energy. So I do like that coming in. It is the sun card is a victory card. It is shining bright. It is a good energy kind of way just to build on what we were saying before we even started looking at cards, which is when I focus on the joy and the gratitude, then that just helps. I can't control someone else's emotions. I can only choose my own stories, my own emotions, my own energy, my own actions. I can't control anyone else's. But and he is a Leo. I had a feeling he is a Leo. That's funny. The Leo baby coming home. And but we can make it easier or harder for people to make emotional choices of lower vibration or higher vibration by what energy we're putting out, right? Because I can, if I'm going, oh my God, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and blah, 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 of course, that's going to be harder for someone to choose unconditional love and easier for them to choose lower vibrational, energy. But if I'm like joy and love and understanding and that again higher vibration smiling and then that makes it easier for everyone else around us to choose higher vibration too. So it's good, choose joy as much as you can. You can't choose for someone else. We don't have to tell them smile. Who likes when you're feeling low for someone to tell you to smile? People just live by example. Just you know but don't be afraid to feel and express any emotion you're feeling too, because that is every human's right and gift for this planet, is to be able to express all that. All right, let's see, based on current energy, kind of how is it going to flow in addition to this bright sunshiny feeling of abundance and fullness and victory and coming in. We do have the hermit. So allow them to have their alone time. Make sure you take your alone time as well. Yeah, even the um, hangman here, which is about cocooning and transformation. So two major arcana. So I feel like it's a good energy for them to get away from whatever they're going through, just to be able to think and connect, but they need their alone time. They need their space as well. So allow that, for them. We don't have to have them with us every second with that. Give them that time to see things from a different perspective, to step back with this energy. So I feel like this is a good kind of escape for them in a way. Coming to visit just allows them to see their life more clearly. We got four cards coming in here too. Wow, yeah, and we got another major arcana. So there's a moon card. Here's Mother Luna Moon. It is good. They need, no matter what any adult says, we all enjoy mama love. There's just something about that. We're a part of each other. There's always this deep, deep emotional connection that comes in here. And so don't be afraid to be mom, but not in a thumb mom, but in the nurturing mom. Just say, I I got your favorite snacks, or I baked your favorite cake, or whatever it is. Be mom. You can be mom. Um, and I like that energy coming in here, because there is a lot of subconscious emotion that's flowing below the surface for them. And they can use that even if they won't admit it or ask for it. They'll accept it in their own special way. That's funny, whatever that means. Do you have the Four of Wands, which is a joy celebration, a gathering of celebration. Um, if they have friends and stuff, just understand that they want to go see their friends and hang around with them too. And that's part of their alone time. It's like, yeah, 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 yeah. I get it. If you know, if you want a day of this, just of course be understanding of that, because there's some sort of joyful gathering that's happening. It feels like around this too, with the Four of Wands. But and it's about my people getting together with the crew, or it just feels like hanging with their homies kind of energy here. But again, this is a joy, joy, joy card coming in, referencing the bottom sun card too. Yeah, so there's a little bit of expectations equal disappointment warning here. Um, that if we're expecting something of them, try to keep as many low expectations, focus on what we're grateful for with this joy energy that just allows things to go forward. We haven't even gotten down to your what can you do to be supportive, but it's kind of seeping in already, because that's what happens when I have expectations, then that just sucks the life out of something. So I like this, just being aware of their disappointments, things that they're already feeling bad about and all that. They'll talk about it if they want to talk about it. Just focus on your higher vibration, your love, your joy, your play. It's like enjoy that energy. And then again, Mother Nature, Mother Nurture energy. It's a good card too. It's like the sun card in that it's abundance and fullness. So right now the energy feels like there's, majority of it feels full and overflowing, and it feels like from your standpoint, your energy, of course, because you get to choose your story, you get to choose your emotion, your energy, and your actions. Like I said, you can't control anyone else's. So if you just focus on what I'm gonna have, like going on vacation with someone, you can't force them to have a good time, but you can have a great time if you want, even if they want to pout and stay in a hotel room while you go out and experience wherever you're going on vacation to, right? You're like, I'm going to go have fun. And, if you want to go, this is where I'm going. I'll check back in and I'll stop by as I'm going to go do all my fun things to see if you're up for it. And if you need any food, I'll drop some off for you, but you're not letting someone else's bad experience on this vacation called the human adventure. Not gonna let it ruin yours, right? So, how can you be more supportive? You got the Nine of Cups. Well, here's your self joy and happiness. So, this is about again this good reminder that you can only choose your own emotions, and you can just let yourself fill up with love and let it overflow, right? No expectations, just be love, basically. Be joy, be love, and that's it. It's simple, right? Keep it simple and follow your heart. If I want to do something not out of expectation, like I'm going to give this and they're going to be happy about it, it's like, you know what? I love them. I'm going to give them this. All right. And then nothing attached to it, right? Whether they, yeah, eat it, drink it, whatever, and if they do or not, it doesn't matter. It's in the giving of the love energy that sends the love energy around them. I love that. Yeah, the Knight of Cups. The quest of self-love. I feel like there's realizing they're on their quest. I know this is tough for parents, especially moms, to understand that they're on their journey and you can't keep them from having boo-boos. That's funny how they say it. You can, the little boo-boos that our children get in the world, that it's part of their experience, that they came here for the journey, they came here for the quest of finding their self-love. And sometimes they need tough times in their life to wake us up, right? We know we've had them, right? That's how we learn the most, through pain and suffering. Really wakes us up. Psh, 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 psh. Nothing like a big ice bucket of water being poured on us that makes us pay attention to life, right? And sometimes that happens. And so letting them have their journey, not trying to control anything or save them, or um, let them be an adult and let them be on this journey and this adventure, and allow yourself to just be loving support on the journey. The flag bearers, the cheerleaders, but let them be their own coach. Let them be their own decision maker. They're the knight, that's on their quest. And so understanding that can help you be more supportive, because you're just unconditionally loving what choices they're making. Not like, well, maybe if you do this, that wouldn't happen. That's not going to help, right? It's just like telling them things you love about them and you're grateful about them, sincerely, not, because, everyone understands it. And there's stuff, of course, well, mom, that's what moms are supposed to say. But when you give specific examples like, I love how you never give up on your friends. When your friend Joe was trying to push everyone away and you wouldn't let him, I feel like you saved his life. And I love that about you. You don't give up on your friends. And they're like, what? Because when you give, you're great, that's kind of falls short. But when someone gives a specific example sincerely, it really hits deep, right? So I love that. Hopefully that helps. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, let go of expectations. The 10 of Swords. You don't need to please anyone. It's understanding, well, I want to be a good mom. I don't want to fail them as a mother. I don't want to fail them as this. I don't want them to experience those things. This is letting go of all the supposed to be's, the should be's, the need to be's, the have to be's, all those expectations, opinion from the outside world. Just throw them all out the door and just, when we have no expectations, everything someone does is like, wow. If we have a lot of expectations, it's you know. So the more we can just allow them to be themselves, um, and there's this message about we always do the best we can in the moment with the knowledge we have, the energy we have within us, and the environment that we're in. Every human does. And we don't hear that enough, that you did the best you could with at the time that you were at, and you've learned it from it, and you will grow from that. And if the same thing happened today, you would handle it completely different. And it's okay to grow through life. No one came in with all the answer key and the answer books. We're kind of learning as we go, and that's how life is. And I feel like that's good for us to know. And maybe that comes up in a conversation with them at some point. You never know. You have it in your tools here. But I like it. The Six of Swords is, and there's even a mother and her child in the little raft here. But this Six of Swords is about letting go of old ways of thinking, see things from a higher perspective, allows you in your experience to go from choppy waters to calm waters. So it kind of just reiterates here, the more I focus on higher vibration and not focusing on those opinions that are rooted in fear, those expectations, that's what those are. Small t, truths rooted in fear, fear of rejection, fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, and love, and etc. Um, those are there. So hopefully those help. Do I want to go down here to grab these? I will. Hold on a sec. All right. Whoops. See if I can get back up. All right. Old man. All right. So, and let's get you your fortune cookies. Yeah, if something falls down, we just get down and pick it up. Made a mistake. Oh my God. It's like being gentle with ourselves and each other, right? Let's see what your fortune cookie has. This is the Fairy Tale Heroine Oracle. So let's take a look and see what we have here. All right. I feel like it's this one right here. The Talking Horse. Card number 5. The card of change. Nailed it. All right. Yeah. I'll open right up to it too. Let's see here. So in many European fairy tales, the heroine's greatest friend and companion is an animal. In The Goose Girl, the princess heroine's horse, Falada, I guess, can speak. Even when he's killed and his head is placed above a castle doorway, he speaks and advises her, and so in the end saves her. The most common motivations of animals in such stories seems to be both love and gratitude. What? You get to be a talking horse for your son. I love that. As a consequence of the heroine protecting them or feeding them or simply loving them back. This is a reminder that, as in all the best known fairy tales, we always reap what we sow. Yeah. Our very oldest stories celebrate the knowledge and wisdom of animals, which is so different from that of humans, and so essential when our own knowledge and wisdom fails. These stories were conceived in times when animals were very much more than simply creatures that we might hunt and then eat. They were perceived as teachers and allies, and sometimes they were honored as gods. And these ancient tales, and in these ancient tales, the oldest animals of all were often repositories for the kind of knowledge that humans once had but long ago renounced. What wisdom are you needing from the animals in your life, either wild or domestic? I like this. So if you have like a spirit animal that really stands out to you or a power animal, definitely seek the medicine of it. Or if you've been having an animal that's been appearing a lot in your life, just Google, spirit animal eagle, spirit animal horse, spirit animal raccoon, and just see what energies that what resonates from those animals. Because I feel that also, especially if it's been coming up lately in preparation for this, they'll help you with your journey with your son with this visit. So I love this for you, Sarah. So enjoy your visit with your son. I'm glad the readings resonated there for you. I love it. Even still on the bottom of the deck, we've got the little boo boo. I love it. The little Leo sun returns. That's funny. Oh, the sun card, Leo sun. I'm so silly sometimes. Sometimes brudda-zen isn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Good thing spirit is. All right. Again, thank you so much for your donation, and uh, have a great time with little boo boo. All right. And then up next we have Christina Lowe. Let's grab your timestamp. Hello, hello, my dear. How are you? Hope you're doing well as well. Here's your timestamp, and thank you for your the little gift giving little kid. I love it. All right, beautiful. Thank you for your donation too. So you'd like to know if you will make it to Cali in time for the birth of your son's firstborn, your grand boy. He gets to come 4 weeks earlier than anticipated. All right, let's take a look here. Based on current energies, are you going to be able to make it to see the birth of the little one? What is all this coming in here? I feel like there's some messages from the little one to you already. All right, let's take a look here. All right, well, I got the Hermit card. Whoops, we got the Hermit card coming in here, which I feel like you may not be there for the actual birth, because underneath that you do have the Eight of Pentacles, which is a bit of work energy, and then the Ace of Wands, which also tells me that, oh, and you got community under there too for the celebration, etc. It tells me that it's not locked in stone, like based on current energy. um it's like you're not able to right now, but I like it that it's in your power of your energy to allow it to come in, and focusing on the gratitude towards welcoming that little soul into your family tree and into you guys's heritage and lineage, that energy, that special energy you guys have together, that unique energy, that can allow things to happen. But I feel like there's still just a little more focus on the energy to allow it to happen. So I like that. Let's see what the top three cards are here too. Yeah. So there's still a crossroads, the battle between the head and the heart. Again, so there is conflict, but with the Queen of Swords, there can be balance between the head and the heart. So the battle can be resolved with your your power of choice, which is the Chariot card that comes in here. I love this Cancer Mother Moon energy that comes with this too. So it's the power of choice. It's like I I can make it there if I choose to. Um, And it's about not looking at how I can't, but looking at how I can, because it takes the same amount of energy. The worrying takes the same amount of energy that we could also, instead of looking at worst case scenarios, we can look at best case scenarios. And with all your Sagittarius energy, you can tap into your Jupiter energy and say, all right, let's expand, baby. Let's bring in the abundance, the ability to go and watch the waters part for you. But it is about you taking steps, action. Start looking at flights, start looking at things, start looking at, how I can make this work, um, kind of energy, even if it's significant changes in your life of, leaving everything behind and going to be near your children or something. It doesn't have to be, look at what you're wanting in your life. This is a huge change energy, especially around these eclipses that we have. So not that I'm telling you this is what you're supposed to do. It's just don't let anything be too big to think about. You could be like, I might just want to like purge a lot of stuff and move, and I'm gonna go live in the guest room of one of my children's houses, and see what's next in my life. Could it be even that big if you want it to be? But I know, let's bring it down. Let's not. um, so I like that you can. There's great possibilities here. Um, it feels like the difference between the choice, right? The mental choice. Which route do I want to focus on here? Below the surface, I feel like this is a message um, from the spirit, the higher self of your grand boy that's coming their way here. You got 1 2 1 2. There's this little dance, kind of looking at like a grandma grandson dance, uh, in a way energetically here. Let's see what we got. And we got the 10 of Wands, which is an ending and beginning energy, this victory and this burden energy. But that is a power of choice. It's kind of like when we let go of the fear around what does it mean if I can't be there and the disappointment I feel and da da da. Da. It's like, no, it's focusing on, we can take that same amount of energy. It's like they were saying, take that same amount of energy and invest it in gratitude. And this will bring us in things that match that instead of pushing it away, right? So I love that awareness. We got the 4 of Pentacles, which is home, and the 2 of Wands. Yeah. So there is this home energy, and the 2 of Wands is exactly what we're talking about. Again, that's reinforcing this. Wherever your energy is focused is where all the energy flows and creates. And so the more it's even like focusing in just on the little baby, on the gratitude for them coming into our lives and the what you're going to bring to the world. I'm so grateful for, your little hands, your little feet. You just like send that love energy and expand that, and not in the lack energy, right? The feelings of not being there and not being, you know, embedded in their life. And that it's like, you know what? I'm going to focus on what I do love instead of what I don't. You've got the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah. So there is this energy here of the Hermit again. Both of these cards are like Hermit. Well, I've got the Hermit, number 9, but the 9 of Pentacles is that feeling of being alone in the world. What did they have to say with that? Yeah, they have the look at things differently. It can change our mindset. So with the Page of Wands and the Justice card, both of them have the got the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Swords here, and the Scales. Seeing things from a higher perspective, getting out of the human opinion and supposed to be in expectations and go into the higher mind, see things from that higher perspective and really realize, yeah, they're recognizing here this feeling of being alone, of being not necessarily abandoned, but this feeling of aloneness and a feeling of not, a feeling of not belonging. What is this word? Ostracized, where we feel like we're not a part of things, kind of energy going on, and they're recognizing that, and they're like, um, we are we are part of each other forever because we're part of that family tree. And I just feel like there's such a connection here. You got the Queen of Cups, underneath that, the Queen of Wands, too. Both of these energies are about connecting just through the spirit world. And they're like, um, they've been communing with you in your dreams, they say, and in the spirit world, too. You don't remember some of what they goes on because you're in your spiritual sense. You guys are meeting in the ethereal realms, but they're like, we're already hanging out, grandma. um, so um, I already know you. You already know me. You just don't realize it yet. Or maybe you do, but maybe you just don't realize it yet. But I love you already, and I'm excited to meet you when the time is perfect. So there's no expectations from the little one. They're like, I love you. I'm already in connection with you. So I like that. So hopefully that helps. Let's see what your fairy tale heroine oracle is. You got, oh, look at the fairy godmother. Hello. Oh, how perfect. Let's see here. The 7 of the octagons. So in fairy tales, the fairy godmother is a supernatural woman with magical powers, like the Queen of Wands, who acts as a mentor or surrogate parent to the heroine and who plays the role that an actual godparent would have been expected to play in those cultures that had them. Fairy tales from the oral traditions don't include fairy godmothers, but these delightful women have become so familiar to us because of the popularity of the French literary fairy tales in which they originally appeared. Something about French, right? The fairy godmother is usually an elder woman, and so she embodies a deep rooted wisdom and knowledge of the world that she's able to employ for the benefit of the young woman she takes under her wing, or in this case, the young man. She can see the potential that our heroine possesses and can foster it, encouraging her not only to believe in herself, but to also help herself. And so to step firmly into the heart of her own power. Her job is to transform. Without her fairy godmother to help her and show her the way, the heroine will never have the resources to leave home and grow into a unique and confident woman. It's funny, they're saying, I'm your godmother. Your grandson is saying, I'm your fairy godmother right now. And I have been. And part of what I want to do is help you do that. Become confident in who you are and see yourself as unique. So, what qualities of the transforming fairy godmother do you need to employ at this stage of your journey? Where, for example, might you find the pumpkin that you can transform into a vehicle that will convey you into the next part of your life? Or what pumpkin will be able to take you to to California, right? You can make it happen, though. You are your own fairy godmother, of course, with that Queen of Wands. This is like, the queen that has the magic wand. Your energy is the one that gets to decide, and you're like, I'm going. And thank you for allowing me to go see my grandchild and send all that love energy. So I like that for you. Hopefully that helps. All right. Thank you again, Christina. That's what they have for you, my dear. Many blessings to you. All right. I did have another donation come here. Let me grab this here. All right. Red, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. There we go. Boom. Thank you for the popcorn. Good evening to you. You're here to drink some of that delicious tea. Speaking of which, cheers to you. Take a sip of my coffee here. All right. Let us find out what is going on here. Cheers. So, what are SS's true plans tonight, Saturday, and Sunday? All right. So, let's step in here. What can we know about SS's true plans tonight? Okay. I do feel like these are underneath the surface there. And then for tomorrow, thank you. And those are below the surface. And then Sunday, those below the surface. All right. Let's see what we got here. Underlying energy for their entire weekend. We just have this Four of Swords here, which is a restful, peace of mind energy. Even the Hanged Man here, which is about cocooning, hanging out, maybe some hanging around with some friends. But it feels more kind of low key and feels like a little bit of alone time, a little resting time that's coming in here. So we'll take a look here. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you have a sense of humor. Appreciate. Thank you. All right. So what are their true plans tonight? Yeah, we got the Five of Pentacles energy. I kind of feel like whatever plans they had might fall through with this Five of Pentacles, because it is a feeling of feeling left behind, left out in the cold, left behind. I mean, abandoned and lacking kind of energy. That's what's below the surface here. Yeah, we have the King of Cups, balance of head and heart, emotional choice energy of lovers energy here, lovers card energy here, and the Sun card too, inner child, making the most of canceled plans energy here, but a lot of balancing, a lot of, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to chill. I'm kind of tired anyway, kind of energy. Just feels here like whatever plans they, like I said, they were intending for do fall through, or it ends up not being what they want it to be. And they're just like, okay, I'm just going to, underneath the surface, it feels like they're okay with it. For me, it's funny because I'm a huge introvert. I like my alone time. And there was this great meme that I was like, oh my God, that is so perfect, because it's like the best type of plans for an introvert is canceled plans. That's kind of what I'm picking up here. They're like, oh, it didn't work out. But then it's like, oh, I'm okay with that. Woohoo, So I feel like that's kind of the energy for tonight. Whatever plans it was, it does feel like it doesn't roll in that direction. For Saturday, we do have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, this is, I mean, they roll over the outside world. So it's fullness. It's like obtaining things. It could be like I'm working, but I'm working at having abundance come into my life in some way, because there is this, a lot of this energy of the coin coming in here. But it's the fullness of senses too. It's like, eating and listening to music, and what I'm smelling, what I'm touching, what are all the, what sense of what I'm seeing? Did I leave out seeing? So I feel like it almost feels like I would be going to a coffee house or a bar to listen to music, because I'm really enjoying what I'm hearing. I'm seeing, the crowd, I'm tasting, I'm drinking, maybe having, wings, chicken wings or something. It just feels like there's a gathering, but it just feels like all of my senses are, going. But I do feel like it's a gathering. Maybe this is the friend energy I felt, because it feels like there's some sort of get together on a Saturday where all my senses are just tingling, very Taurus, sensey energy, the five senses. But it doesn't feel like, romantic, and that it feels like being part of a group, feeling full of life kind of energy. I feels like what their plan is. I feel for Saturday. Let's see what's below the surface here. Yeah, there's a good balanced energy. It's not all day long because I feel like they need a nap after all this. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles again. Fullness of life, energy, and the Eight of Cups. I almost feel like this might be a going away of some sort. Because Eight of Cups, it doesn't feel like I'm letting, I'm, cutting people out of my life. This is like someone's leaving and we're having a get together for them. And so there's this, kind of an outing or something. Is like kind of what I'm picking up here. Regardless of what it is, it feels like there's the loss of someone that's going away or has gone away, because hopefully it's not a funeral, but if that's what it is, if it's a kind of a wake or something like that, but it is the celebration of someone. It feels like they're going to go away and a gathering kind of energy. So that's interesting that that's there. So it feels like it takes a lot out of them, and then they're trying to balance their day. Sunday, let's see, Sunday. We do have, yeah, a slow Sunday with the Knight of Pentacles and the Six of Cups here. Don't know. This feels like a slow moving, there's a lot of child energy here. So I don't know if there's gathering with family or something on Sunday. It feels very low key and slow, though. Doesn't feel like it starts at something and it does this. So it feels like a very um, busy weekend of gatherings with people, which makes sense with that Three of Cups energy, which is about our community and our gathering of a lot of people. But it does feel like there's children, like maybe family on Sunday. What's below the surface here? Yeah, we got the World card. It is a celebration again, ending of a cycle, the beginning of a new adventure. We have been some expectations equal disappointment. That's family, right? We all experienced it. Everyone in our family has experienced it. Our parents experienced it from their parents who experienced it from their parents. You know, all growing up with our thoughts about how everything is supposed to be and how everyone does things differently. So it does feel here like there's a bit of, you know, it's family. It's not like this Saturday feels more open and flowing and free. Sunday feels like, all right, I've got to put up my protective barrier, spend time with, it's just like going over sometime during the day to hang out. And it doesn't feel like it's a organized start and stop time of a party or anything. It's just so and so's in town, or why don't you come over on Sunday and stop by kind of energy. What's this going on here? This is why I feel like they're okay with tonight going, oh, I'm kind of glad because I have such a packed weekend. I really want to rest because I feel like it almost feels like nonstop gathering type of events going on here for their weekend, but it's groups, which I'm like, oh, God. uh, it's funny because people at work that I worked with for years and years, when we did some sort of, I think it was Myers Briggs or something where they do these personality things where you get to learn each other's personality. When they said, all right, everyone who's an introvert, go over here. Everyone who's an extrovert, go over here. I went over here with the introverts, and all my extrovert friends says, get over here. What are you doing over there? And all my friends who are introverts go, no, no, he is an introvert, because an introvert gets their energy restored by being alone. Extroverts gets their energy by around groups. But I could still be outgoing and lead meetings and be the life of the party if I have to be. But after I'm done, I'm like, I need a good alone time to rest. But hopefully that makes sense with what's kind of happening with their plans this weekend. It just feels like a very forced extroversion this weekend. Let's see what the fortune cookie brings in here too, with the fairy tale heroine oracle. which we got the Fairy Hill, card number 10. I know, right? I hear you there. The more I choose my alone time than going outward, which I love my host. We have a great, I live in the basement. She's on the upper level, the ground level, and she knows, like, I'm like, I'm just hanging out with myself today. And she's like, all right, understood. And she'll go and do her own thing. And she's a Sagittarius, so she's got fire, fire, fire. Anyway, Fairy Hill says the Fairy Hill is a hollow hill and fairies live inside it. It's a gateway then to the other world. The Fairy Hill and its environs are places where the heroine might be seduced by the fairies, by their wistful, beguiling music, their rich food and sparkling drink, and by the beauty of their dance. It sounds like the party I was talking about. It's a place that's our um, it's a place that is, oh, sorry, out of time and which seems to be free of the cares of the world. But it's important to remember that the fairies can curse you as well as grant you good fortune. The country of the fairies is a perilous one, and the fairies themselves are unpredictable. Yeah, it sounds like all their friends on Saturday. Even though the patch that the heroine is on is difficult and dark, she must resist the temptation to step off it. Temptations are among the greatest tests she'll face on her journey. She'll encounter situations or people who will try to seduce her away from her true path and prevent her from completing the journey. Although it's hard to refuse the delicious fairy food, to resist the invitation to dance, carefree for a while, it's necessary always just to smile and walk on. When temptations are you facing that might lead you astray, uh, I'm sorry, let me reread this question. I thought I see how it's supposed to be read. What temptations are you facing that might lead you astray, and which seem to offer an easy way out of the issues you're facing in your life? So I feel like this is kind of their energy in a way, um, but it can apply to all of us too, however it resonates. So I love that. The Fairy Hill. So hopefully that helps a little clarity there coming in there. So many blessings to you. Thank you again for your donation, Red. Greatly appreciate that. All right, I think we have reached the end of donations. So, hey, Divine Empathic Clairvoyance. Hey, my fiend. All right, let me grab here. Let's see the free readings. Let me just kind of take them out of the chat here. Make it easier for old man brudda-zen. I need to stop saying that. I'm not old. Benita Bala, I see yours there. And we've got Guarav. Got yours there. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Red. Feel free to do that. All right. Well, actually, we just had some donations come in, so we will circle back around for free readings, possibly. All right. So, Divine Empathic. Let me grab your name over here. And then we'll throw Red. We'll circle back around, Red, for follow-up there. All right. So, Divine Empathic, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here with all these ones and fours in it. 10414. So thank you for your donation. Let's give that a love and a like there. Want to know what's coming for September? All right. Let's take a look here. Let's take another sip here of this coffee. All right. So let's tap into your, based on current energies, what is September bringing you? You've got that one, followed by these three, and that one, and these three again. Oh, interesting. All right. And then underlying energy overall, in addition to this on the bottom. We'll just put that over here. Yeah, it's like it's not a 1-2-1-2 dance, it's a 1-3-1-3. Maybe it's a, line dance instead of a dance with one person. Let's take a look. Your bottom of the deck, you do have the, Knight of Swords, so it is a pursuit of clarity and a lot of clarity coming in for you, in September. We'll see around what with these other cards here. But your underlying energy is the Two of Pentacles. I'm hearing cycles, a lot of clarity around repeated cycles that, and this makes sense. 1-3-1-3, that's a cycle, right? So I feel like there's an awareness around the cycles. I don't know if there's really a necessarily a breaking of it in September. It's more awareness around them. So we'll find out what that is. Is this about your cycles or someone else's cycles? Because it could be that if it's someone else's cycles, which maybe like this is yours and this is someone else's, but it's like you're recognizing this mirroring of cycles and that I can't do anything about their cycles, but I can do something about mine, but I don't want to yet. It's like awareness around it, but it's like, all right, that's good information. And I feel like October is where you make decisions on what you want to do with this clarity. But there's clarity coming in, but I don't see the wand's energy yet of the action around the awareness necessarily, at least based on current energy. So for you, we do have, yeah, we've got the judgment card, which is your higher self calling you to see things from a higher perspective, but this draw into something more. And I feel like the cycle for you is your heart ignites and you start taking step towards your heart, and then your mind comes in and kind of, well, what about this? It kind of distracts the heart and going, what? It's not like it takes your heart off your path. It just makes your heart stop and go, what are you saying? So it stops progress forward because the mind's asking so many questions. You're like, okay, well, da 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 da. Well, what about blah blah? Well, da 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 da. Well, what about well, da 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 da? And you're like, what? Come on, walk with me. Don't make me stop to answer your questions. Walk with me. It's almost like a reporter interrogating someone, and it's like, just walk with me, and you keep up with me instead of that. So I like that energy. Let's see what else this is about here. Yeah, yeah. The balance of the mind here with the justice card. So you got justice and judgment, but that ace of swords that the justice is thus balancing. There's some good questioning that happens because the heart allows the human mind to connect to the higher mind and realize some of the questions they're asking. We do get to the root of things and we let go of things that have been holding us back, old mindsets, thoughts, and beliefs and mindsets that don't serve, that made us feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted and small, again, like powerless, right? And allowing it to go forward. So it's a good questions that the mind's bringing up because it's allowing us to see things from a higher perspective and go, yeah, that's a good question. Why do I let this keep me back? And the fears that are connected with it, right? You do have, yeah, the moon, the hidden revealed with the moon card here. Wow, these three major arcana. What's the fourth one? Yep, and the Eight of Pentacles. I love the transformative energy of the Eight of Pentacles because it does talk about the blood, the sweat, the tears that you've been already putting into this. And it does show that you have been having movement, you have been having action in the outside world, taking steps. Um, but yeah, the mind, I feel like the cycle that's becoming aware is that how the mind has been distracting um, and I like this, that walk with me, mind, and you can ask me questions as I'm moving forward. I don't have to stop to answer your questions. I'll answer as we're going along. So it's not a sit down interview. It's like they do. You always show people trying to follow people in the in the like the Capitol and everything. As they're walking to their car, blah 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 blah, and they're like, whew, they're asking questions as they're trying to keep up with the fast moving, you know, representatives and everyone. So now it's like, keep up, mind, because I'm on the go. I'm on the move. I'm not going to slow down for you anymore. So I like that energy that's coming in here. And that makes sense why it's like I don't feel the need to change it, but it's awareness around it because I don't need to change that. My mind is asking me questions because I like it, but I'm not going to stop to answer. I'm going to answer as I'm moving. So it doesn't impact your progress because you're aware of it now. Oh yeah, I do stop to answer your questions, and um, my, how you have like representatives, like state representatives or senators or whatever that people around them that are their aides that are just grabbing their arm and let's go, let's keep going. That's what your spirit guides will do for you. It's like, yeah, keep me going, keep me going. So I like that. Let's see what this other is. I feel like this is a uh, a pattern of someone else that's mirroring for you because you got the Knight of Pentacles, a very slow moving energy. So it's someone that does take forever to do something, someone that maybe you have become maybe a little impatient with. And it's a great mirror for us. How am I becoming impatient with myself? It's like, oh, because I keep stopping. This is the mirror for me to show me how impatient I've become with me, in that I stop to answer my mind instead of continuing to move forward and following my heart. Interesting, right? Let's see what else they want you to know about this other person. Yeah, they have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is they're really actually, there's movement, even though we can't see it. It's like a duck. They're saying that they kind of look like they're gliding along the water, but below the surface, there's a lot of movement that we're not aware of in someone else's life. Just like people aren't aware of everything we're doing in our lives. And so there's this understanding that even though if we think people aren't acting on things, there is action happening below the surface, even if I can't see it. We have the Ten of Pentacles. So there is this success and victory. I feel like this person does have passion, and this might, if this is a romantic interest, this is someone, this is someone here that would feel like you're part of their life or want you to be part of their life, but maybe haven't taken a whole lot of action toward it. Yeah, we got the Three of Cups. Feels like this is someone that is in your friends group with the Three of Cups. I don't feel like it's a third party kind of thing. It feels like more they're part of your community. It might be someone that you're wondering if they're interested, wondering if they're um, attracted to you or not, or what their intentions are. There's activity below the surface here, but it's very slow moving, and I feel like they like to get to know people as friends, get to know who people are to see if they can trust them and see people, because I feel like this individual, whoever this is, and if this resonates, it just feels like it's someone who's had a lot of heartache and people that would put on airs when they met him and then find out who they really are later. They found if you go visit an animal in their habitat, you'll understand their behavior more and understand who they really are and not have them attack you out of nowhere. That's funny. Thank you for your compliment. Love how you read. So it is very interesting here. This recognition of cycles that comes in here, and that there is this mirroring. And this is what I feel like September brings in. It's bringing you some awareness of not just one individual. I feel like this is a big, important piece of questioning that you have, but it's because it's really showing you some, within your own self about, I don't have to change this pattern, but awareness of it will allow me to respond differently to my mind instead of react like it's an irritating reporter, realizing it has its job to do and it's doing its job, right? Ah, very cool. Yeah, you're like a mirror. You're like, good. So someone else will understand. They won't be like, oh. Let's see what your fairy tale heroine oracle, your fortune cookie brings in here. Wow, that came out right away. You've got dismemberment. Whoa. Card number 8. Let's see what this is about. 8 of circles. There we go. So, images of the dismembered feminine are common in European fairy tales, from the handless maiden, whose hands are severed by her own father so that he can save himself, to Karen in Hans Christian Andersen's The Red Shoes, whose feet must be amputated to save her from the power that her dancing shoes have over her. What does it mean to lose our hands or feet? Such dismemberment reflects a deep soul wound, a rending soul loss, an acknowledgement that something essential has been taken from us. For the handless maiden, the loss of her hands led to a feeling of emptiness or futility. To make herself whole again, this particular fairy tale heroine must undergo a quest, a healing journey, in the course of which she finally learns how to grow back her own hands. Precisely because of their brutality, stories of dismemberment and other such traumas are initiatory experiences, gateways to transformation. That's that 8 of Pentacles too, transformative energy. They propel us forcefully along the dark, root-tangled pathway to maturity and meaning. But having first been dismembered, our heroine will eventually be remembered. The handless maiden is healed, and she achieves this herself, and in her own authentic way. Her original dismemberment then represents the necessary culling, culling, culling of an old life to make way for a new one. So the question comes in, what has been cut away from you? What is the nature of your dismemberment? And how will you remember yourself? Wow. These cards are amazing. They're just deep questions. I love that. So something to ponder, my fiend. All right. And that's what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings. Thank you again so much for your donation. I appreciate that. All right, Red, we're circling back around for number 2 for you here. Let's grab that timestamp here. All right. There we go. Oh, wow. I love that. Spirit knows, right? All right. So, Red, thank you for your additional donation. And cheers to another cup of tea. I will take another sip here. Cheers, cheers. All right. Love and light. So what's really going on behind the scenes? Okay. So let's tap in here. What can we know about S and B for this weekend? Behind the scenes. And then the beginning and end of September too. All right, let's take a look here. So for this weekend first, what can we know about what's going on behind the scenes? What can we know that is allowed on YouTube? Whoa! Let's not go too personal here. Okay. And then the beginning of September. Let's see what's going on behind the scenes at the start. All right. Thank you. And then what about at the end of September? Oh, we got here and we got that. Okay. So let's see what we got here. Now, bottom of the deck, overall, we do have the 6 of Wands energy here, which is, that's okay, get personal. I don't want to get kicked off of YouTube, We'll have to beep, 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 beep. But the 6 of Wands is it's a flow energy, it's a feeling of victory energy, but it's 3 wands on this side, 3 wands on that side. So I don't feel like it's this joint feeling of 6. They're showing me 3 plus 3 in parentheses, which is like I'm independently feeling like it's a victory, and they're feeling like independently they're having this flow and victory, but it doesn't have to do with each other, if that makes sense with this. Interesting. We'll see what this is. So we've got this weekend energy. What's going on behind the scenes? Yeah, we've got this calling card interest. Yeah, it's interesting, right? Calling energy, which is our higher self calling us. Um, it's like, what am I doing with my life? What do I want to be? What do I want to do kind of energy? And that makes sense when we receive our calling. It's like, who do I want to be? But that's independent of anyone and everything else, because this is truly like our soul. Like it's the song in us that needs to be sung. And it's not a duet, it's a solo that I need to sing this song, not I need to sing this song with you. So it's not about I need to be away from everything to be able to do this. It's what's calling. I feel like this is the energy of the eclipses, and this is the energy that's been going on this year into 20 it's into 2026 and in 2027 too. But this year especially, shaking of the world of our what am I waiting for to live my dream? Because will the world be here tomorrow? There's like this energy that's really igniting in all of us and our core bubbling up, right? And this is what this is going on here. Yeah. Transformation, seeing things from a higher perspective. I it's and that's it, right? A caterpillar is a caterpillar eating leaves and doing his thing, and all of a sudden it goes, what? I want to build a cocoon. I want to become a butterfly. It's like suddenly this butterfly within the caterpillar wants to do its thing and transform. And it doesn't mean like, all right, everyone else, I'm out of here. It's I need to transform myself. And this I feel are both kind of in this sparkiness, if that makes sense. And this weekend feels like it. They still have this feeling of fullness, the 10 of Pentacles. Relationship is being discussed, um, but it's about how to make things happen. I feel it just feels like this is what I want. How can we make that happen? Well, this is what I want. How can we make that happen? Well, yeah, how can we make both of this happen? Kind of energy that is here with this. So it's interesting. Let's see what's below this here too. Yeah. The Knight of Wands, the quest of stepping into our power, into our passions. So it's like there's this we've done all this work, we've got this maybe abundance, but it feels like we've got this full life and everything, but why do we still feel empty? Because we're not living our passions. We've done all the stuff we thought we were supposed to do. We've done these things, we have these things, but I want more. I want more. There's more. Is this as good as it gets? There's more to life kind of energy. I feel like this is their um this desire is sparking within them. And I feel like they're starting to talk about it, sharing, like, I think I would like to do this. And we're like, really? Why? Because they're like, well, since they're sharing their little thing, and it's like, well, something I've always wanted to do. What? I want to do that. Why? And so they're challenging each other about because they're totally different kind of personalities. It feels like it's like someone goes, I really just want to be able to go to what's the big motorcycle gathering that everyone goes to, but it's like I want to buy a motorcycle, I want to be able to go on this thing with this group of friends, and go to this thing, and they're like, really? They're like, well, I want to go, I want to take up painting or blah blah blah. It's like two completely different things where they look at each other and go, "What? Really? All right, you go do that, but I want to be able to go do this." It's like I would hate to go do that, and they would hate to go do that, and it's this kind of energy of being free and living one's dreams, but not. I don't feel like it's at the behest of the relationship. Like it must be sacrificed for us to do this, at least not yet. It's like we can start kind of wanting to go do these things that we individually, independently want to do, kind of energy. But it does feel like they're not feeling fulfilled in life, and they're realizing it's not you. It's not just getting someone else would make me happier or not, kind of energy. It's like they're really turning inward with themselves, going, what is it that I want to do? Kind of energy, if that makes sense. Let's see what the beginning of September brings in. What's going on behind the scenes? Wow. We do have this Hierophant here, the major arcana number 5, which is about kind of like the Judgment card, which is about seeing things from a higher perspective, even like the Hangman, our higher self drawing us. But it's also the teacher, it's also the master of change, that with change of thought and perspective brings change in life. So I feel like there's really clarity around changes to be made and choices to be made with the Chariot card. What choices are we going to make? And how will this impact things? So, I mean, all these major arcana here coming in here. So it is life changing, significant, like, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to be able to do this kind of stuff. So there's a bit of I want to say like a bit of an independence energy, but again, it doesn't feel like to the extent of like separation, but it's like this realization I've lost my identity of who I am in us, and I want to get my individuality back. I need to express a piece of myself, if that makes sense. So that feels like at the beginning. And then let's take a look here at the end of September. What's behind the scenes? Yeah, I was going to say the 9 of Pentacles. I was literally going to say it feels like, because that's my card of independence. Because I was looking at the 10 of Pentacles, and I'm like, it's almost like we go back to the 9 of Pentacles, where it's feeling like I'm self-sufficient in a way, but I'm independent, that I'm not like so enmeshed in something that I feel lost. And it's about this independent feeling. What's underneath that here too? Yeah, the 10 of Wands, the change of energy from burden to harvest. And especially with the 9 of Pentacles, there is this, where am I investing all my energy? And is this where I want to invest it? So I do feel like and I feel like it's on both sides of this too, that they're both kind of at this place. It does feel as if one person is more uh, jazzed, or was the initiator of, "Oh, I want to do what I need to be more me," and then the other person was like, "Whoa, oh, I like that idea," and then they realized, I've lost myself too, and yeah, I want to be able to do some things I'd like to do too. If you can do it, then I can do it, right? It's that kind of interesting energy coming in here. So hopefully that makes sense with what's coming in. So that's what we have right now, Red. So thank you again for your additional donation there. Did I give you both of your timestamps? I did. Okay, good. Not falling behind in my duties. So interesting. But that is very much in alignment with a lot of the energies that everyone's feeling. It's like, I got to be more me, more authentic. There's like this push within humanity across the entire collective of I got to be more true to who I am, not trying to be what I think everyone wants me to be, right? Ah, very cool. You're like, very interesting. So we shall see. All right. So many blessings. Thank you again. All righty. Hey, Olivier. Hello, hello. Let's see here. I think we've got those. We've got those. All right. You asked about the interview you're having. Oh, awesome. I'm so glad that the message was on the button. And then we'll grab your other question here for a follow up here. And I'm about to start free readings, I believe. So we will add you to the list here. All right. I do believe. Let me just make sure, check my emails. All right. We are good. All right. So let us jump in to the free readings. We start off here with Touch of Love at 131 even. Look at that. So let's grab that. So Touch O Love. You're hoping to see, maybe, could we ask Spirit what you should be aware of coming towards you? Sure, we can ask them. What do they feel is best for you to know right now and what is coming towards you? All right. Evidently that. What else do we have here? All right. All right. Well, you do have here, you have the Nine of Wands and the Three of Swords. Now, the Nine of Wands is about a barrier. You can even see someone's been hitting their head up against a wall over and over again and not been able to get through it. And expectations equal disappointment, the feeling of heartbreak or, oh, So there's been something here that you've been working toward to try to get through. And what I feel like they're saying here, there's an opportunity coming up. If you step into your power of choice, your power of your energy, see how they're holding that Ace of Wands, this big staff. It used to be right here, which, I mean, why don't they just walk around here? Well, just imagine canyon walls. Let me do this. Here we go. Like canyon walls, like you're reaching this point where you can't get through. But once you are able to step into your power, that actually opens up this space for you to just to slip through this and to move forward. But how you take your power back, and it's about where you're investing your power and where you're putting that. And what I mean by that is if I'm focusing on what's not happening, um, then that's lack energy, right? When I have expectations around something, I'm taking a little list, right, of what is happening that I think is supposed to happen, but what is not. I end up focusing on what's not happening, which is lack energy, which then brings more of that in, brings more blocks, right? Or fears I have on the other side of that. If I get that, what does that mean? Um, what if someone takes it away? So anything around this lower vibration is what the Three of Swords brings in. When we're focusing our energy on the higher vibration of what I'm grateful for, what I have had, what I've learned through my experiences, celebrating my journey, celebrating the now as well, and not fearing the future or what's next, but really coming into this moment allows you to move forward. And I feel like there's an opportunity that will be several, it feels like, will be coming up showing you these expectations that are below the surface that we may not be consciously aware of, but we have this feeling of, finally this thing is happening. Finally, as an impatience or a patience energy. Y- Even patience is a lack energy, which I was surprised to find out. But when Spirit explained it to me after they had me tell someone, and I'm like, hold on, what? Patience is lack energy. Explain. And they were like, well, really, what patience is I'm patiently waiting for this thing that I feel I should have already. Otherwise, I wouldn't have to feel patient about it. So if I feel like I don't have something now that I should already have, that's what requires patience, which is actually not having energy, which is lack energy. So when I release and go, you know what? If I don't have it now, it's because it's not meant for me right now. I'm instead going to focus on gratitude for what I do have instead of focusing on what I don't have. And then that just continues to bring in more. And I go with the flow of abundance instead of the anchors of lack. So I feel like there's opportunities that are coming in that help release you from that, because when those things come up, then we're like, oh, there you are. I was wondering what anchor was holding me back. Now I see it for what it is. And you get to release it, take off the rope. It's like a hot air balloon with sandbags and the ropes that keep it low so it doesn't fly off. Well, we realized, why am I flying? I'm, doing the fire to try to get me to go higher, and I'm not moving. What's going on? Oh, here's this rope. And then we get to go up a little further, and there's another rope, and then we let that go and cut off some sandbags. We go higher and higher. And that's what I feel is coming up, is this opportunity to see those things. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's what they have for you at Touch O Love. So many blessings to you. All right. And then Cat Goddess, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. Oh, thank you, Red. We'll circle back as soon as I see your question. We will circle back around for that. So Cat Goddess, you'd like to know, what can you expect soon potentially? All right. Based on current energies, what can you expect soon? I like your first card, Queen of Wands. Whatever you're focusing your energy on is what you'll draw towards you. So that's what you can expect, because that's the laws, right? It's whatever I focus on is what I'm drawing toward me, whether it's higher vibration, lower vibration, gratitude or lack, or joy or sadness, or celebration, or disappointment. Uh, it's important to know that. So I like that. That's funny, because it's true. What can I expect? Well, that's kind of the way things work in this human world. But they understand what you're really wanting to know, which is your calling. I like this. The Judgment card is your higher self calling you to see things from a higher perspective. So you are gaining a lot of clarity, but this is about, like, what is your desire? What's the one of the big things you wanted to experience and express yourself and bring into this world? Like, what kind of opportunity did you want to have in sharing this beautiful unconditional love energy in your heart with the world in your own special, unique way? So there's a lot of clarity that's coming in about where I feel like you're getting clarity around where you're investing your energy. And I feel like you're going to be getting some great um, guidance on what you can do with your energy to help more move in that direction. So that can come in the form, like we're kind of just talking about with Touch of Love, which is, when conflict comes up, it's for me to shake my cage and realize, how am I holding myself back? How am I allowing my own thoughts and beliefs and mindsets to make me feel blinded and bound and trapped and restricted, where it steals opportunity for me to express myself, because I'm, no, I can't do that, then I won't do that. But if I can remove these chains, the cage that's around me, then I can express myself. So I feel like there's a lot of clarity around, how can I express my true dream of my heart, not of my mind, which has its own, it's all based on human opinion, the supposed to, the should, the need to, the have to, the must, instead of the, I feel like I'm living instead of checking off boxes and existing. So I feel like there's a big clarity that's coming in around in your life right now around that. So that's what you can expect soon. Yay. All right. So that's what they have for you, Cat Goddess. Hey, Pufferfish. Hello, hello. All right. And then Red, I do see your donation. So as soon as you put your question, like I said, I will circle back, but I'll continue on free readings until I see that. All right. So we've got Moncloa. You are up here. So let's grab yours. Oh, I see your question. So we'll go to you next, Red. So, Moncloa, you wanted a general reading. So, what does Spirit want you to know right now? For this moment in time, what does Spirit want you to know? All right, thank you. All right. Look at two major arcana coming in here. So, you do have the World card coming in. Let me see if I can do them up right here. So, you've got the World card, which is about an ending of a major cycle, the beginning of a new adventure. You got two major arcana, which is this is a big pivotal point in your life. And you have the Lovers card too, which is can be about relationships. It can be about romance, but I do feel like you're at this point here of an ending and a new beginning. And this is doesn't mean that the relationship has to go, but it is a transformative point in here, whether it's lover, friend, family, coworker, whoever, whatever. If your question or the guidance you're seeking about is a relationship, this is about letting go of a lot of the mindsets and expectations around what a relationship is supposed to be, should be, need to be. Like, who are they supposed to be, who they're supposed to be in the relationship we're having, how is this relationship supposed to unfold, what is it supposed to give me, who am I supposed to be in it. And it's about letting that go, because this emotional choice card of the Lovers card is I get to choose the emotion I feel. They can't make me feel any particular way. I get to choose how I feel. Now, we're given a lot of opinion growing up that when people do this or don't do this or don't say this is how I'm supposed to feel. That's their opinion. We took it on not knowing any better as children, but now I get to choose how I want to feel. And if I want to feel sadsies about it, that's fine. There's no wrong or right emotion. There's just different emotions with different outcomes and different experiences. And if I'm tired of feeling sadsies or irritated or vengeful or whatever, resentful, whatever it could be, I can choose differently. And how that changes is with this World card, my old cycle is to focus on all these things that I've been told someone and all that is supposed to be, all that pressure, this long list. It is exhausting. It sucks the life out of relationships. When I can focus in on letting all that go as much as I can and going, I'm going to focus on what I love about who they are in my relationship, what this relationship is, what it's bringing me, who I'm in this relationship. That grows a relationship. And the joy and the things we love about it grow and expand too. When I focus on what's not happening, then I get more of that. That's what sucks the life out, because it's lack energy, right? And I feel like that's what's coming in here is there's this ending of the old cycle that we're all taught to do. Well, most of us as children are taught to focus on who everyone is supposed to be and who you're supposed to be. And there's pain, there's punishment and pain if you don't, and there's reward and treats if you do. And well, we want treats, we don't want the punishment. So we're kind of taught to be forced to do these. But when the freedom comes in, and it's the ending of a cycle, it becomes like a little child with a world of possibilities and wonder and adventure instead of work. Let's work at our relationship. Well, let's have an adventure in our relationship instead. So I feel like that's what they want you to know right now, Moncloa. So hopefully that helps. So many blessings to you. All right. So Red, thank you for your additional donation here. I think we were like at 143.44. I didn't look at it exactly. So I think it's around here for your other one. But you're here, so you probably won't miss it. So thank you again. The baggage. Uh-oh. Okay. So one last cup of cheers. All right, let me take a sip here too. So it has ooh, wow. Okay. So in part of their contemplation, moving closer to family. All right. So in their transforming, when does spirit see their physical move happening? Okay. This is under the surface here, and this one too. And then what happens as a result of it? Okay, I got this too. this one. These two. All right. Yeah, it still looks that there is a lot of contemplating still going on here with the Justice card on the bottom. They have that Ace of Swords, the balancing out of things. They still have choices to make. That makes sense. We got that card before for them, right? The Chariot. I've got decisions. I got decisions to make, and I feel like there's a lot of mental energy with that Justice card of cost-benefit analysis of everything, right? So let's see the when. When would this happen here? Page of Wands. Yeah, here's that following that passion, the new ignition. Below the surface, yeah, we got the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. So we have both of those energies here. What is this? I feel like this is about mom and dad. Energy that comes in. Something about their parents needing to decide something. Is it whether they're going to sell a property, let them boot out some renters, let them move in? It just feels like there's something that mom and dad have to decide, because it's like the financial backing with something that has to happen in order for them to do this move financially, both in just because the financial investment that would be needed, but also I feel like S would be not losing, but leaving maybe their job and their income. It would be impacted. We'll see what the impact is here too. But that's kind of it feels here. Oh, spot on. Okay, good. So that makes sense. All right. And then let's take a look here and see what we have. So that when, it still feels, yeah, well, because I was thinking, well, mom's all like, let's do it, and dad, but then I'm like, well, it feels like both mom and dad are pretty financial conscious, wanting to make the right decisions, doing the research. Mom's more of pushing it because mom wants them back sooner. Dad is like, I want them back, but I want to do this right, kind of energy. So I thought I kind of feel going on here. That's funny. So timing, they're not giving me. Let me see. Can I have a range? Because they're like based on current energies. Feels like they're a lot about looking at economy, what's going on in the world. Let's wait a minute. Let's ask our investor. Let's ask our realtor. Blah blah blah. What are they thinking? What are they saying? They said wait till after the beginning of September, so you could see what the Federal Reserve is doing. Blah, blah. And there's just like all this stuff that I really don't get that's coming in. So it's a lot of that stuff, the figuring of finances, because they got people. Their people are looking into it. That's funny. All right. So I'm feeling like we'll find out more in September, when I feel like decisions will be more clearer once we get past the beginning of September. There's something about, or when, because it's like there's some sort of reporting that comes out, like from the Federal Reserve. It's something to do with that, where it's either quarterly or monthly that it comes out, because quarterly, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. So it might be at the end after September. We might have a better idea coming in, because I feel like it's a quarterly report. I don't know if it's a quarterly some sort of federal report. You know what I'm saying. So we'll see. What happens as a result of it? Okay. Yeah. So there is movement of emotion. It's the quest of finding self-love, the balance of the outside world, two different locations. Let me see what this is here. 10 of Pentacles energy. Feels like here there's almost like a trying out of having two separate residences. Let's see where these last two cards are here. Okay. That's what I had a feeling. I go, at least in the beginning, it feels like I'm going to go live here and do this. You live there. We'll figure out what happens. But then I do feel, I knew there was some sort of ending that felt like it was coming here with the death card. So there is this death and rebirth. And the Aries card, this is the rebirth, Aries, new energy coming in here. The Emperor is about me deciding, again, both of them, me decide. It's almost like I hear it in stereo, them both saying at the same time. Me deciding what I want to do, not what everyone else wants me to do, but what I want to do. Then me putting a plan together, and then me taking action. And then, oh yeah, and then me sharing my plan with them, and then us taking action. It's like, oh yeah, there's two of us. Let's take this action. Um, I do feel like in the beginning, it's like, well, our intention isn't to like end, but we do want to be able, for me to do what I want to do, I need to go here, and for you to do what you want to do. I feel like they are also wanting, they'll end up going somewhere else. I feel like if they have home and stuff together, that whatever they have together is liquidated so that each can go their separate places. But then the long distance and stuff just adds to the canyon that was already forming between them, and they're going off and going, it's just best. It almost feels like it's not, um well, maybe good. I was going to say, it doesn't feel like it's huge conflicting energy, but it's there, of course, but I don't feel like it's I'm divorcing you energy. It's yeah, this is best for both of us kind of energy. Yeah, even the sun card underneath, which is about the bright light shining in, and um seeing the best of it. I do feel like, again, like it originated with one person, but the other person then is like, "Yeah, you're right. I didn't realize it until you said it." Um, but it's important for us to do what we want to do, kind of energy. So I do feel here, yeah, and again, even on the bottom of the deck, yeah, look at all this. Oh my gosh, yeah. What we got? Let me see here. You have the Knight of Wands, which is the quest for our passion. We have the Ten of Wands, focusing where we're investing all of our energy. Again, I'm doing all this for what? I want to invest energy until where I feel like I'm living and not existing. And then the Three of Wands, agreeing to go a different direction than we had thought we were going to go, kind of energy. It doesn't feel like hatred so much of one another or something like that, but it does feel like, we're not going to be besties afterwards. Um, but I'm also, you're not my enemy. If I see you, I'm going to say hi to you, right? Um, but 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 it's not like what's with that song, I'm crying over you, do do do, whatever that song is. Is it by what's his name, Roy Orbison or something? I just hear it playing in my ear. It sounds like a western, but maybe not a western song. Maybe it's an older song. But yeah, so it's interesting. Which is great, not enemies, because I feel like a lot of people saw their relationship as volatile and oh my god, but it's like their lives growing up, that's what they're used to. They're like, "What do you mean?" Because if you grow up with a kind of a volatile or a loud arguing or atmosphere, you just think that's normal. And when you're around people that don't have it, it's like, what? It's like they remind me of this. I think it was a comedian, and she was like, she said, um, I went over to my friend's house and um oh, okay, that makes sense. Thank you, Red. September, the Federal Reserve is supposed to make a decision about interest rates. That makes total sense. I knew they did something somewhere, but that's exactly that makes sense. But she went over to someone's house, and her mom and dad slept in the same bedroom, and she was like, "Oh wow." She went back home and she told her mom, she's like, "Oh my gosh, mom, I feel so sorry for my friend." And she goes, "Why?" She goes, "Their parents they can't afford to have two separate rooms. They sleep in the same room because her mom and dad didn't sleep in the same rooms." But it's people's perceptions. It's like if you grow up with something, you think everyone else is odd. When you grow up with it, you're like, "Oh, the perception until you learn differently." We get clarity later in life and we're going, "Oh, what? Families actually hang out together? What? You guys are crazy." My family, like me growing up, our family was not really close. Um, and so when I would be around families that were so like loving and almost, it's like this feeling of they're codependent on each other. Oh my God, where's your independence? Why are you like, I need to go see my mom? And I'm like, wow, why are people so sensitive, right? Because I grew up and I know that I chose my family on purpose before I came down here because I realized I wanted to be very independent to where I don't feel that, "Oh, I gotta do this." I'm very much, you know, I can go and do whatever I want energy, right? And a lot of my family is that way, and I'm like, that's my norm. When I see the opposite, I'm like, "That was weird. What planet are you guys from?" And they're looking at me going, "How insensitive are you? You don't miss your family?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't grow up being taught to miss family." We weren't like all my dad's family lived somewhere else and all my mom's family lived somewhere else. We moved when I was like one away from everyone. So I grew up without really knowing any of my relatives. So I don't know what all this attachment to family feels like. Um, so it's, you know, everyone's perception kind of in energy, just to kind of come full circle. Oh, that's right. Well, so that's why family has stepped in because they're like, "Oh, it's this," and they're like, but that's each of their experiences, right? We always end up marrying our parents, at least the first time, or dating our parents in other people's bodies. And so it's funny how they're like, "Oh my God, you need to go do what we want you to do," and you're like, you're doing exactly to them what you think they're doing to them, right? You're doing to your child exactly what they're doing to your child. It's just okay because I'm their parent. I'm bullying them to do what I want them to do. Well, that's what they were doing too. It's okay for you. Whoa. Interesting, right? Too funny. Well, that's what we have for this one, Red. So thank you again so much. Um, Definitely a time of change, right? Sure. You can definitely ask a question for clarity there. And then I will continue here. We've only got 3 more free readings left. Just take another sip here. Then we have Benita Bala and then Gaurav. I may be murdering that. My apologies. And then Livier. Oh, yeah. So it's like in the beginning, it's like, well, I'm gonna go do this, and so they have the home, where they're at in the beginning, um, and then they move and they have that second residence. So they have the original residence that they have together, and then they have that second residence. And they're like, well, let's see how it goes. I feel like there's not like this, I'm leaving you. It's like, let's try this and see if this works. They're reminding me of my mom and her second husband. My mom was like, and I'm gonna go and live with my sister for a while and her husband and get counseling there, and then you'll stay here and you'll get counseling. And I knew as soon as my mom went away to get counseling that there, because I was still living with my stepfather, and I'm like, I'm moving back to Colorado. This is when we lived in Texas. I go, I'm moving back to Colorado. And my mom goes, "Can I move with you?" And I'm like, "Well, what about this?" That's what I feel like kind of happens is they kind of let's try this out with the intention, not the direct intention that we're gonna end this, but then when the separation is there, they realize let's just end this. I don't feel like it's in with mom. I feel like they're finding their own place kind of energy. It felt like that's what mom and dad were figuring out. What are we going to do? What are we going to sell? Who are we going to kick out of a rental property? Or we're going to buy a rental property and then let them live in it. And that way, when they figure out what they're going to do, we'll have this investment. It's this kind of plans within plans of mama and papa. But I feel like that's it because I feel like they don't want to live together. I don't think either of them want to live together. I don't think S wants to live there in the house with them, even though I feel like it's a huge residence. They're like, I want to come and go as I please under without the watchful eye of Mamacita. That's kind of what I'm picking up. So hopefully that helps. All righty. Well, let us jump in here. So, Benita Bala, let's do your free reading here. Oops, let's grab your, I almost forgot to do timestamp. All right, convoluted plans. It's like, how can we control? And I don't want to be under your control. She doesn't want to go from the frying pan into the fire, right? You are very welcome. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, Benita, how is Sean currently feeling about you? Let's take a look here. What's going on with Sean's feelings towards you here? All right. All right. Interesting. So we've got the King of Swords, which is a like a double amount of thinking energy. King of Swords rules over the mental suit of swords. All the kings get a second portion of swords, so that's 2 time thinking, not a whole lot of emotion. We do have the Hanged Man too, which is about trying to gain clarity, seeing things from a different perspective. And that Ace of Swords that the King of Swords does also is about seeing things differently. So I do feel like there is this evolution of not so much emotion, but as how do I feel about my emotions? What do I think about how I feel about if that makes sense? Because it's all about analyzing emotions, seeing things from this different perspective, looking, seeking clarity, trying to move beyond these old expectations, these thoughts, these beliefs, kind of that are like this cage, this blockade that keeps their emotions from going forward. It's like there's this barbed wire fence and their heart is behind it. And it's like, I want out. And so they're trying to, like, their mind is going, well, why are we keeping you from moving forward because the heart's like pressing up against the barbed wire and going, ow, why won't you let me move forward? And so there's a lot of thinking, trying to see things differently, going, what are my fears? What is stopping me from wanting to move forward on these emotions? That the heart, there is emotion towards you. It is drawn towards you, but there's a lot of thinking. And this is that transformational energy. So it's kind of like more of a pause, more of a slow process that's here around where they're at. So hopefully that helps, Benita. That's what they have for you right now. So many blessings to you. All right. Hey, Olivia. Welcome, welcome. You're welcome, Benita. You're like, that makes sense why they're going in slow-mo mode, right? So I like that here. All right. So I did have a couple more come in here. So I think you guys we will circle back around. Gaurav and Livier, I will complete yours tonight. Your free reading. So we will get to you guys. All right. So we have Maria P via the PayPal came in. And then Olivia, as soon as you post yours, you'll be up after that. All right. So Maria P, let's grab your timestamp here. Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. There we go. And let me scroll over here on this screen. I feel so high tech I have a Mac, my old Mac that's getting older and older. That's why I needed to get a newer computer where that was faster for streaming. I'm not sure how long they're gonna last, but I do have two up here. So Maria, Walter's feelings and thoughts towards you today. All right, let's see what's going on here. So that's this here, feelings and thoughts. What's coming for us this weekend? Okay, boom and boom. Let's see, when he signed your son's birthday card, when he signed his thoughts, okay. On the birthday card, updates on the dark side. Okay, pick those. And when he seems, okay, so when he sees you sad and gets worried that you're disappointed, his thoughts and anything else. All right. When he sees you sad. All right. We'll see what's going on there. All right. So his current feelings and thoughts towards you. Yeah. So he does here, he has the Chariot card, which is Cancer energy, mother moon energy, and this power of choice. Just feel like there's a bit of, with the Hermit card, this little solitude energy here. There is a little bit of fear of being left alone that's coming up here. So again, I feel like it's a cycle of our human, right? When we start to get close and then things happen and shake our connections, that we're like, that he hasn't dealt with a lot of that from his, past of, the fear of rejection, the fear of abandonment. He hasn't done a lot of that energy. You've done a lot of your consistency and being yourself that has allowed him to feel safer with you, but still his inner child, even though his inner child feels safer with you, they still have all that pain from past relationships that they still keep inner child still keeps one eye on you with that fear of being abandoned. But overall, I feel like they feel nurtured. They feel that Cancer moon energy of mother, of that there. But there is that fear that's coming in. So there kind of feels like with that, also the Chariot going back and forth between the higher and lower vibration joy and the fear. So we'll see about more over here, I'm sure, when we get there. What's coming up for you guys this weekend? Oh, it's up to you. You got the Magician card coming in here. Wherever you focus your energy is what you're going to draw in this weekend, and letting go of expectations. They had to get it in. They're just getting it right out of the way, right? What you focus on, are you focusing on expectations, supposed to be, should be, need to be? It pushes opportunities away. Focus on gratitude for what you have and have had. You get more. So this is a very, especially this energy of the eclipses that we have. There's this opportunity of uh, manifestation. Whatever we're being, whatever we have flowing through us is what we draw in. So it's very important here for you. They're not giving me a whole lot beyond that because they're like, this is such a what is this fluid energy this weekend of whatever your energy is what you draw in like this. So if you're focusing on, I'm so grateful for these opportunities that we've had and we've done this and this, that it's, and if you're like, oh, why isn't this happening? This needs to happen. What if this doesn't happen? Pushes it away, right? So very important energy. And when he, let's see, yeah, so when he signed your son's birthday card, um, oh wait, I think this was this one. Yeah. Nice. The feeling of home, the Four of Pentacles, the feeling of belonging. Great energy there. And the Hierophant, that's funny. Teacher, student energy. It almost felt like a teacher, like a uh it is. It feels like a not like a father energy, but it feels like a more of a teacher, someone who can help someone in life and kind of had that responsibility energy of like a teacher student energy, which is interesting. But this feeling of home and belonging too. So I like that. Updates on the dark side. Yep, 10 of Wands. Here's that burden energy, all this energy being invested over there. And it is an endings and beginnings energy. Does feel like they're investing energy toward endings more than they had in the past, of course, with all the stuff that's been going on. It's like bringing things more faster to a head, but it feels like he's carrying more of a burden around it too. When he sees you sad and he gets worried that you're disappointed, his thoughts. Yep, the high priestess, afraid that you're going to pull away and go to your high priestess temple. Here's that feeling of the, like I was talking about, the Five of Pentacles is the fears of being abandoned, left behind, left out in the cold, right? So there is that fear of, um, oh no, this is the beginning of the end. You're going to abandon me and leave me. Yeah, the Seven of Swords, which is lies, deceit, betrayal, um, energy. But it's, and that can be expressed in the outside world, but there's our own thoughts and beliefs and mindsets that betray us, right? That cheat us out of opportunities that keep us from going forward. And I feel like that's what they're thinking a lot about here is that they don't want to hide anything even though they felt that that was the safest thing to do for you and for your relationship while things were being worked out slowly with them exiting out of each other's lives. But they knew that the dragon, even though if the dragon kind of knew where things were headed, when you actually go to do it, it's like it pierces them and then they breathe fire, that they're like, maybe this is the thing we need to do. Yeah, got the Four of Cups. um, Emotional stability, kind of energy that comes in, wanting emotional stability. They tend to blame themselves because they've been blamed by a lot of people for other people's emotional choices. Once they realize that I don't choose other people's emotions. Yeah, we can make it easier or harder for people to choose higher vibration or lower vibration emotional choices. But if they don't, if they don't, if they don't realize that, then they feel like guilty and feel like they're responsible for everyone else's emotional choices is what I was going to get to. So I got distracted by these cards, these your or the um, fortune cookie cards here, because but I was like, that's a big piece of what um, why they want so much emotional stability in others. Because if you're sad, I feel like it's my fault. If you're disappointed, I feel like it's my fault because I've been told by parents growing up and by past lovers and friends and family and everyone, right? You made me sad. You made me mad. It's your fault. And it's like, what? But then once you realize, no, he can't make you happy. He can't make you sad. He can't make you disappointed. Those are all your choices. And we can make it harder for you to choose that by being loving and having this love that flows out of us. Or I can make it easy for you to choose that by telling you, you suck, you're stupid or whatever, yelling at people in their face. That makes it harder for people to choose love. Can you imagine? But anyway, that's what they have there for you, Maria. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here. What else about your relationship with the W? We've got housekeeping. Yeah, woman, get back in the kitchen where you belong. Jokes. This is jokes. It's such a male chauvinist thing, and it's so not me. That's why it's funny. Ha ha, laugh everybody. Ha ha. But this is housekeeping. It's clean. It's like doing our housekeeping, right? One of the major occupations of the average fairy tale heroine is housekeeping. In many stories, lost, neglected, or disposed girls are required to take care of menial tasks in the house or the castle. In some tales, housekeeping might be the task set for a younger woman by an older one in return for wisdom, shelter, or some other necessary gift. This focus on domestic matters might seem on the surface to be reinforcing outdated gender roles and expectations, but it's important to remember that fairy tales are symbolic. That's right, I was being symbolic. And so, what such tasks are suggesting is that the ability to keep your house in order is a critical skill, not just in your everyday physical surroundings, but in your life. We all need to be able to make a clean sweep of things when necessary. We all need to undertake a little tidying up to mitigate the chaos of existence. Housekeeping and the ability to maintain order aren't the only accomplishments that are worth cultivating for a fairy tale heroine. More fluid ways of being in the world are important too, of course. But in the ever shifting seasons of our lives, we need also to pay attention to such a grounded and grounding daily practice. What do you need to sweep away or put in order in your own life? Ooh. So what in your own life, what do you need what kind of housekeeping do you need? So there's a German proverb that says, um, I sweep in front of my own door, not everyone else's door trying to clean up everyone else's stuff, but I come back and I clean and I sweep in front of my own door. What what can I work on for myself? Not what does everyone else need to do? In other words, I mind my business. I come back to me and sweep in front of my own door. So I like that for you. So hopefully that helps for your journey. And that's what they have for you, my dear. So many blessings to you. All right. And then Olivier, I want to call you Olivier. Olivia, you are up. So let's grab your timestamp here. And thank you for your donation. Let's give that a love and a like. Start off with a German accent, end up with French or something. So good, excited to see you as well. And give that a love and a like. So you said here, Reese has been on your mind these past few days. Nosy reading on their current thoughts and feelings since they've been on your mind? When will you be hearing from them? All right. The coffee is gone. It's okay. I've got water over here too. All right. So let's take a look here. A nosy reading. So what are Reese's current thoughts? Olivia. Olivier. Olivia. All right. Let's take a look here. So we've got thoughts on the surface, and then, of course, the nosiness on the bottom. All right. And then their feelings, all right, on the surface and underneath here. It's these here. And then when, based on current energies, when will you be hearing from them? All right. And these two, like those are extra. We'll see what those are about. All right. Yeah, well, let's start with the bottom of the deck. We do have the Six of Swords, which is, there is this leaving old ways of thinking behind, moving into new ways of thinking. But I feel like there's a lot of traveling, a lot of movement in their life with the Six of Swords. A lot of movement, like in job and friends and family, maybe even in as far as residence, just a lot of movement, a lot of moving parts that I just kind of feel a little bit, I don't feel like necessarily overwhelmed as much as just my life feels like it's moving in a bunch of different directions. I'm trying to keep a lot of plates. You know how like they have those sticks with the plates and trying to keep them all going without any falling down and shattering. I kind of feel like that kind of energy. So just know that that's kind of what's going on in their life. Could be why they're on your mind because they're like stressing out. But let's take a look here. So their thoughts right now, well, they are thinking about relationships. Here is very much the top of their mind. Let's see here below the surface. What's going on here? Oh, Ace of Wands. Yeah, so some passion igniting here. Full moon, howling at the moon. They do have the Queen of Swords coming in, the balance between head and heart. Also thinking about partnership and what that perfect compatible person would look like for them with that energy. King of Wands. This is energy like the Emperor. So they do have, again, that makes sense with all of this. I'm trying to decide what I want, clearing the throne room. Family daughter fighting. Yeah, it feels like it, right? What do I want? Everyone step out of the throne room, leave your opinions in the box on the way out, because I need to decide what it is. As me of the king, I put the king in kingdom. I'm the king. Let me decide what I want for my life, what steps I want to take, and then I'll put energy behind it. So there is that trying to determine what exactly it is that I want kind of energy. And it feels like they do have both cycles of doing this, but also it feels like they're kind of um, there's like this, here is an option of what I could do, but this other choice in the outside world of what they want to do. Yeah, right, Leo, right? Yeah. Um, there's this energy of like a question mark. It's like it's not a real person or situation. It's like that dream of the perfect person. Well, there's this. They're got to be out there, right? This person looks like this person, that person, all together, and they got this personality and that personality. They do this and that. Everything we love about everyone else in one. But that becomes Frankenstein's monster, right? We're like, if they exist, they're a monster. But it's an illusion, right? And so there's always this perfect person that we compare everyone else to that doesn't exist. It's an unobtainable thing. I kind of feel like this is always in the back of their mind of this is what I'm supposed to have, but there's this option, but it's not this, but it's this option, but it's not this. And it's this loop that they get stuck in. So they get stuck in this overthinking and I don't want to settle because what if I settle and then they are out there, what if kind of energy. Interesting. Um, Feelings. Let's see what their feelings are here. Yeah, I figured here with that Ace of Wands, they got some feelings flowing, but that's passion energy. But they got the Empress energy too, which rules over all the queens. So there's sensuality there. They're very well. That makes sense. You said they're Leo. Do they have Leo? Because they feel very passionate person. Like they love their intimacy. They love that touch and action, motion energy. Emotion, they have here with the Empress, but it's a little less prominent because the Empress is she has that sensual energy that comes with her. And she's the one that runs naked through the forest going, screw all your rules. I'm going to be Mother Nature. I don't need anyone else's rules. I rule from the heart, not from the head. Because the Emperor that comes after the number 4 and the Hierophant number 5 are all about the rules of society and spiritual or organized spirituality. She's like, I'm going to be me kind of energy. But the queen also, I mean, she rolls over all 4 queens. All 4 queens get cups behind the scenes. And then plus the Queen of Cups. That's 5 parts emotion, 1 part fire, 1 part air, 1 part, you know, you're running naked through the forest, right? You're like, woohoo! So there is this energy here of there's a lot of emotion, but it's not obvious in the Empress until you look at that she rules over all 4 queens and they all give that to her. Um, so there is a lot of emotion there, but I feel like the Knight of Wands of passion and action and intimacy, it's really tied tightly together with them. Let's see what's below the surface here. Yeah, Queen of Cups, here she is. All this deep emotion. 5 of Cups, yeah, a lot of sorrow. And the Moon card, holy crap. I mean, cow. Moon energy, of course, ruled by Cancer, huge emotional energy. All 3 of it underneath it, all this cups, but and the Queen of Cups dives deep into that deep emotion below the surface. The Moon card is about all this emotion below the surface. The 5 of Cups is the tendency to focus on my lower vibration emotion and sorrow and, pain and suffering, and that it's that rolls a lot below the surface, the fear of pain. That makes sense why it's subdued, it's below the surface, that they tend to go towards motion, passion instead of the other sharing emotion. It's it seeps in through intimacy and that, but um, it's like emotion kind of they don't want to put it out here because if you put it out here, it gets broken and people take the heart and throw it down and stomp on it and take a fork and poke on it and throw it on the barbecue and then in the microwave and then in the blender and then they pour it in something, freeze it and hand you back a heart sickle and go, here's your heart back, kind of, and, energy that comes in with that. So quite a bit of emotional energy going on here, but there's this drive for like expressing passion. They're like, I gotta, I need passion. I need to have this energy. And so that's going on with them right now. It's building up within them. All right. So, let's see here. Oh, when will you be hearing from them? We got that Ace of Swords. which is communication, and the 10 of cups. So there's this joy and celebration energy coming in here. So I do feel like you will be hearing from them soon with that, because that is about new contact, and it's a joyful contact. Um that's what these other two cards are. They gave you two more. Yep, King of Cups, balance between head and heart, and the King of Swords. So three parts mind, one part emotion, right? Kitchen appliance descriptions. Oh, of all the heart, what you do with the heart. La cuisine, the chef, right? But so this feels here that they're still figuring this stuff out. Once they have this moment of joy, this 10 of cups is really standing out. I feel like it's within 10 days, because October feels too far away, but I do feel like you'll hear from them within 10 days. And it can be even about a joyful event or something. Um, but it does feel, based on current energies, I feel like they have a break and they balance their stuff. And I feel like they do reach out to you here. Um, Based on current energies. Yeah, because I keep on thinking October, but that feels too far away. So I feel like that's what's happening. Let's see what your fortune cookie brings in here too. Let's see what we got here. This weekend, huh? Well, it's within 10 days, so it could be this weekend, but it really depends on their energy, because there's a lot of oh my god, the astrological energy. It's like a wonderful storm of energy and getting cut out in the rain. No, it could within the next 10 days. So I do feel like it can definitely be. It definitely can be. Just like throw all these swords around. I mean swords, cards around. So let's take a look. You got the snake shedding of skin, card number 11. So let's take a look here, see if there's anything else that comes in here. That's the whole thing about the future. It's so it's so shaky anyway, because there's so moment by moment decisions take us on all these paths. That's why we love the possibilities of this lifetime. Um, but they're a very, like I said, they're the cycles of movement. It's like it's just it's like someone who's out of balance. It's almost like there's showing me someone who's drunk trying to walk the line. You're like, whoa, 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 whoa. You're not sure where they're going to end up and what they're going to hit, because they're stumbling back here and going over here, going over here. Uh, so I just feel like they're, you know, experientially drunk, because it's hard for them to walk a straight line. So they're like, roll the dice to see when that's going to happen with them. All right, let's see here. Snake. In most European folk traditions, snakes or serpents are perceived as negative characters. In the beautiful old French tale of the fairy Melusine, the heroine is cursed by her mother to become a serpent from the waist down every Saturday. And when her husband eventually discovers her serpent tail, he considers her to be a monster, someone he can no longer trust, and she's forced to leave. And yet, in our oldest mythology, the snake or serpent is also a powerful symbol of the divine feminine, and especially of fertility and life force. A snake's ability to shed its skin and grow a new one again and again makes it a symbol of rebirth, transformation, immortality, and healing. Snakes slithering over the ground, making their homes in cracks and holes, are also associated with the underworld and with hidden knowledge, knowledge that might have a price. Several European fairy tales have the heroine marry a snake. However, when the fairy tale heroine encounters a snake on her path, she would do well to be wary. The pursuit of the chthonic, I guess the potent, hidden knowledge of the underworld, might be tempting, but it isn't always wise. Sometimes you might just bite off more snake than you can chew. The question is there something hidden in your life which is calling out to be encountered? Ooh, there you go. So what of your own rebirth, this mirror of what they're going through, how are you experiencing that, right? I like it. So that is what they have for you, my dear. Thank you again for your donation. Woohoo, we'll see what's happening. All right. So let's take a look here. Let me grab this here. Hey, collector. Good to see you. All right. Let's see. I have a few free readings here. I think that was it for donations for right now. So, Gaurav, you are up. So let's grab this here. All right. And then we'll circle back for Olivia's follow-up question here. So you want to know, will Yoti introduce you to her mother? Question. And for marriage. All right, let's take a look here. All right, boom, boom. You know, we've got the judgment card here, this one here, which is about your higher self calling you to a different place. And you got the Page of Cups coming in here, which is a higher love, something else that more matches your love vibration. So I feel like with these, I don't feel like they will do that for marriage, because I feel like um there's someone different for both of you that's more in alignment with your guys' energies. And so I don't feel like that, because I feel like you guys are being drawn here. The two X's of the judgment card, double endings, double new beginnings. I feel like you guys are compatible-ish, but there's people that are just so much more fitting for both of you that I feel like this doesn't go in that direction. You guys kind of end up going different ways there. So that's what I'm coming in with those right now based on current energies there, Gaurav. So not the one that I feel matches your energy right now, right? I know, I'm sorry. It's good to know, though, that it's not just because you're not good enough, it's that there's someone that, for both of you, that matches yourselves more aligned, right? All right, so that's what they have for you. So many blessings. And then Livier Bagara, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. Boom, boom. You want to know, and I'm glad that that turned out the way we were when we did your reading for your interview. And then you want to ask if Harry will help you out with the workplace mentioned in the future. All right, let's take a look here. Will Harry help you out based on current energies? And it feels supportive here. You've got the Four of Wands, which is about celebration and joy. It is about finding your people and your tribe. The Six of Cups, too, is an energy of family in a way, children, but it is about support. And you can even see here someone is giving something to someone else here. So it does feel like they can in the future here. And there is that feeling of family, that feeling of, that they don't think of you as just someone. They think of you like as family, in a way. You're their chosen family. So they do feel that kind of, it feels like more older brother kind of energy, though. They wouldn't want to be called like a grandfather or even an uncle. I feel like they're, um, you know, kind of energy that comes in there. But it does feel positive with all of that. So it feels like that they will with that energy. So That is what they have for you. So many blessings to you. Congratulations on the job. All right. So let's take a look here. So Olivia, thank you for your additional. Ooh, look, 239.39. All right. Oh, let's give that a love and a like. Thank you for your additional donation. Come on, mouse. There it goes. Deep dive, nosy read on who's coming in next for your love life. You're not asking about Reese superficially, but can you please describe the person you'll develop a deep relationship with and when, and anything else we can get? Sure, we can see what we can pull from the ethereal for you based on current energies. Maybe we'll just ask here first, because you want a deep relationship with. I want to ask first. Can we know, do you have like a fated person regardless of the path you choose, you'll end up with them? Or is it more multiple choice for this lifetime? Let's start there, right? Here we go. Yeah, so you've got the ending of an old cycle, beginning of a new adventure energy. Feels like reincarnation energy. And it's actually, all these are fixed signs around the world card. So that does represent, you do have a fated relationship that you will end up with for the rest of your life. It's just a matter of when, the soonest or the latest you'll meet them, and the soonest or latest that you'll leave each other's life through death, or I feel like it would be through death. Like when you're like, all right, I'm out of here. So I do feel like with this circle, the cycle of life, that it's not, that it is a fated relationship that you come up with in here. I'm going to clarify something, because these four fixed signs are standing out. Like, well, maybe there's four different signs that you could end up with. But let me just clarify, because I just want to make sure. All right. You have the Page of Wands, so it is one individual. They're like, here, I'm holding on to one wand. So it is one person. All right. So we know that there is someone you eventually get in there, right? Well, we do have stepping stones. Before we come down here, we decide what's the journey, we already know the variety of journeys it'll take to get there. But there's also, like, we decide together, the earliest we could meet, are we gonna work through all this crud together, the stuff we want to let go of, or do we want to do with the other people so we don't bring that into our relationship? And you guys, like, this lifetime, let's let's suffer and growth with other people, so we don't have the baggage when we come in together, to where I have that ammunition of going, you remember when you did that, blah blah blah, because it's going to be, a fresh start at a higher vibration, which is what the Page of Wands is you meet each other when you're at a higher vibration than when you're at your lower vibration, and then you have lower vibration experiences. So it was agreed, right? Because I could ask you, where you been hiding? It's like, no, we've been doing our journey, our adventure, so that when we get together, it'll be, that, right? So let's see here. How close are you based on current energies of bumping into each other? Whoa, wow, look, Two of Cups. So it's close here coming up with the Two of Cups, because that is, of course, relationship energy, power of emotional choice energy, of course, coming in too. Let's see here. Any time, is it this year? We have the Eight of Wands. It all depends on where you're investing your energy, because it is possible this year, the more I focus in on, so the difference, like, wherever I focus my energy, of course, is what grows and expands, right? And I know you know that. So if I'm focusing on, I want a relationship, I need this, that's lack energy. Because if in this moment I feel like I don't have something and I need something or I want something, that means I feel I don't have something. Don't have energy equals lack, which focusing on it brings me more lack, which pushes it further away, right? When I focus in on what I love about my life right now, the love I have in my life doesn't have to be romantic love. The love I have of friends and family and creator and everyone else. I love love. I'm so grateful for love. They'll bring in love that just draws in this energy of love, right? Um, or the love I have had. What do I love about the relationships that I have had? Then that energy also attracts things that equal that, right? And also, if I focus on fear of I won't find love, then of course I also push it away. So the 8 of Wands is whatever I'm focusing my energy on, it draws it in faster and faster. Higher vibration draws in things in faster, lower vibration slows it down, right? So timing is up to you, right? It can be this year, but it's about wherever we're focusing the most of our energy is what we're drawing in. So timing is always, what are we always worried about time? And it's like when you're in our human, we get in these expectations around time and lack and defining ourselves by when things are in our life, when things in our life. But from spirit's perspective, like we're eternal beings. You're gonna experience everything. What's the rush? Don't go into a candy store and just, start, you know, eating every candy and gorging yourself and getting sick. They're like, you have access to this candy store forever. Just take a piece and enjoy it. And after that's gone, if you want another piece, then take another piece. But you don't have to gorge yourself. I love that. So that's kind of the when-ish. So let's talk about the person here a little bit. Okay. So how you'll meet, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So on a game show, no, I'm just kidding. The Price is Right. um, the Wheel of Fortune, they're saying here there's several different places. It's funny because if you look at the World card and the Wheel of Fortune, all of them have the four different um, signs that are on there. Are they the same? I think they're different too. No, I think they are actually the same. Yeah, because we've got the angels and the eagle and the bull, and because I think it's with the fixed signs are Aquarius and Taurus and, well, whatever they are. I forget right now. Is it Virgo and Gemini? No, maybe. I forget. But those don't matter. They're not part of the. It's just that it's all about timing. It depends on you have different times you could meet each other, and it's four different ways that you could do that. Right? Of course, for $1 million prize. That's the way it will feel. But so there is like four different places that you guys can meet depending on your guys' energetic choices. So I feel here that there is um an air energy. So I feel like you guys can meet in like some sort of learning session. Like you guys are learning the same thing. There's also the earthy energy of senses, and I feel like you could meet. I don't know if you'd ever be interested in going to like a cuisine class or doing something, but it has something to do with the senses or wine, but it's all about the smelling, the hearing, the tasting, the touching. It's almost like at a some sort of event that includes all of the senses. That's there, something that's beautiful to see, kind of situation. We got the also fiery energy. Doing something that you love is another opportunity that you guys can meet, that's there. So it's not about you're searching for someone, it's you're living and loving and doing something that you love. They're also doing the same thing, and it's a common thing that you guys share, and you bump into each other doing that too. And because I feel like it's all four energies. Water, water, emotional. In therapy? No, I'm just kidding. In group therapy? No, that's just emotional water energy. Feels like at an emotional event. Um, but I don't feel like a funeral, like somewhere where it's crying. It feels like more of a emotionally moving event, whether it's at some sort of celebration of someone's achievement or someone's wedding or somewhere you would cry with joy, a play, I don't know. But you have like four different kind of, and the energy is so different for each one of them. But I just feel like there's pathways that cross because you have four different ways of meeting each other, like over the next year and a half. Well, let's say year and 3 months because we're almost to the end of the year. Because I feel like it's by the end of next year. You can meet this year depending on your energy too, as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's your therapist. I can't be your therapist anymore because I love you. Oh, it's like the movies, right? All right. Let's see what else they'll tell us here. Personality looks. Let's see what else we can find out here. I feel like they're it's a scavenger hunt. They don't want to give us too much, right? Because it's all about the adventure of unfolding, not having their resume, right? Well, they are a patient person with the Knight of Pentacles. There's that grounded earth energy. So they are not in a rush, which, but they're very patient too. So something slowly built, they feel lasts forever. Something quickly built falls apart fast too. Here's the cups, the emotional energy. So they do feel their feels with this energy here. They do have that no emotion. They can cry with someone, um, so they're very comfortable with expressing their emotions, and they know that I can change my emotions as well. Um, so it's very interesting. We also have the Eight of Pentacles. Someone who's a hard worker, someone who's been through a big transformation. So this is that, we're talking about. You don't want to be with a caterpillar, you want to be with the butterfly. And so both of you have been going through the cocoon to come out butterflies so that you guys meet each other as butterflies. You don't have to go through the cocoon stage together and the melting away and becoming the soup of all that, right? Yeah, and it's a beautiful match. King of Cups. It's one of my perfect compatible people cards because they're a balance between head and heart, which means you guys fit like a glove. It's just um, they're able to communicate their emotions and they're intelligent. They're not so emotional that they're emotionally unstable and not so intelligent they don't know what an emotion is. It's just a beautiful fit, kind of a person that comes together, and you guys will feel that way. It's just wow, it's easy to be with each other kind of energy. So I like that for you. All right. So that's what they have. Yeah, we already gave one fortune cookie per session. So we gave you a fortune cookie already. So num num num. So thank you again for your additional donation. So we will continue here with the last of the free readings. Yeah, we're headed towards the end of the session too. So we just have Happy Pill and Collector will be up there. You are very welcome. A little bit of a tidbit, just enough, a little extra. You can always ask a little bit more, but they don't like doing the big reveal and going, here's their background check and their file. It's like, here's a little tidbit. It's a scavenger hunt. All right, now on to the next thing. Now on to the next things. So I like that. All right. So Happy Pill, 254.10. Boom, boom. All right. So happy pill. You wanted a ancestral message for your sister. All right. Let's take a look here. What do your ancestors want your sister to know right now? All right. Stepping into your sister's energy. Okay. There's a big matriarchal type of divine feminine energy that's coming through for her. Let's see what they have to say here. Yeah, we've got here the Eight of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles energy. So the Five of Pentacles energy is an energy of the fear of being abandoned, of not being enough, of being left out in the cold, um, lack energy, right? And then the Eight of Pentacles is this energy of doing the work, the blood, the sweat, the tears. You get the reward that comes with it. And I feel like this, especially this strong, stoic, again, strong divine feminine energy coming through the ancestral chain is, you know, you're alive because of the divine feminine energy, the strong feminine energy that follows the bloodline of your ancestors, that there was a lot of overcoming these fears of not being enough and the hardships of life and the winters and all this stuff. I mean, weather and war and sickness and battling and so many chains and challenges. But I feel like for your sister to know that there's been strong women through each generation that have been the chain breakers, and they've been slowly breaking all these chains from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. And that when you go inward to define your worth instead of outward, that's where their strength came. That they had to, sit in that and be that and express that, um, because the outside world was so harsh and a lot of the ancestry, that that inner strength is your power. And finding, when you define yourself by the outside world, you do feel like you end up on a clearance rack, right? But when you, because that's retail, but when you go inside and go inward and upward and define yourself by that eternal unconditional love and all this love of all the ancestors that they have for you, eternal unconditional love, then there is that beautiful strength that comes in there. And when you do that and you start peeling away all the thoughts and beliefs of defining yourself by the outside world, that's where your strength will be. And I feel like that's what they have for you. So that is the message for your sister, Happy Pill. So many blessings to you and her. All right. All right. So, Sudeshna, we'll circle back around as soon as you put your question out there for that donation. Okay. There she is. All right. All right. So, Sudeshna, here's your time stamp. Thank you so much for your donation. We'll give that a love and a like there. Yeah, so we are getting toward the end. So Collector will complete your free reading, and any of the other free readings, I'll have to see how many I have coming in, because I do have to cut off at some point. All right, so Sudeshna, you want to know how will be the outing on September 6th with your college friends? All right, how will things be? Anything important going to happen? All right, let's take a look here. Based on current energies, what does this outing on September 6th look like with your friends? How will things be? All right, there we go. And anything important coming in there? I feel like these three here. All right. Overall, a lot of passion, a lot of energy. It feels very energetic, very go, go, go. A lot of activity, a lot of movement kind of energy that's there. So a lot of fast moving feels like everyone's wanting to go, 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 go. Let's do this. Let's do that. It feels very active, like that energy. How will things be? Well, you get to decide that, of course, with the King of Wands. Let's see what else we have here. The power of choice and the Nine of Wands. You're the only one that can hold things back or not here. It's interesting because everyone is going to experience it in their own way. And this is what this shows it here because, of course, I get to choose what story I put to everything, every emotion I feel, every energy I put forward in my physical actions. So I'm the one that gets to decide, am I going to have a good time or a bad time? Every moment is my choice. Everything that's happening just is, but everyone is putting a different story. Everyone is choosing a different emotion. Everyone is choosing to their own actions, right? So it's like everyone is going to have all these different experiences. I like that. They're saying you're going to have as good of a time as you want, as you decide you want, or the worst of times that you decide you want. It's up to you. I like that. That's coming in here because that's important. It's a great reminder for all of us. Wherever I invest my energy is I get to choose. I can go to a party going, no matter what, I'm going to have a great time. And when people are acting this way or that way, and I'm just like, whatever, I'm going to have a good time. I'm not letting your energy impact mine. Or I can go around going, ready to have a bad time, and everyone, is, you know, I'm going to have a horrible time, and I'm going to, you know, make it harder for everyone else to have a good time too, right? But I'm like, I'm going to have a great time, and I don't care what anyone else is going to do, right? Important, anything important based on current energy unfolding here? You have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, this is about being true to your authentic you, not asking permission to shine, not dimming your light, but being true to yourself. I feel like we've talked about this before this outing. This is a place where you can just let loose and be you and not worry about everything, right? You're just like, I'm going to go and have the best time. And I feel like there's this freeing feeling that you can experience here. There's a great possibility with all this wands energy and choice energy that a wonderful experience or a horrible one. And I feel like you understand that the more you try to be what everyone else wants you to be, the more miserable time you have. But when you're just doing the things you love and making the choices for you have a wonderful time. And I like that. So that's an important event. Yeah, the Ace of Cups, filling up with your own love and overflowing out, not expecting other people to fill you up, but filling up your own cup and overflowing. It's a great opportunity, I feel like, here for you to just be true to you. And I feel like it's a spark where you realize what a wonderful time you can have when you are true to yourself instead of trying to be what you think everyone else wants you to be, right? Yeah, the Ten of Pentacles. Great feeling of abundance and overflowing here, with this energy. It's a relationship card, but I don't feel like you get a romantic relationship out of this because I feel like this is a time about not trying to get something from the outside world, but finding this within you and letting it overflow and be kind of projected to the outside world instead. So I like that for you. Let's see what the fortune cookie brings in here for you too. But it is about empowerment, this great energy. So we got the fairy tale heroine oracle today. Let's see what you get here. All right, here you are. So what else about this event? There's going to be food. Yummy, yummy food. So card number 9. Here is September, right? It's September 6th. So you got the 9 energy. Let's see. That's the 9 of the diamond. Oops, all right. So when entering the domain of the fairies or descending into the underworld, it's important not to eat the food that's offered to you there. Uh-oh, maybe you shouldn't eat there. Food in fairy tales can act as an anchor. It grounds you and so binds your body to the place where you are, the place where the food comes from. If that's a place where you really don't want to remain, eating it is not a good idea. Okay, so if you want to remain there, the food you ingest will trap you there. Just like the poisoned apple in Snow White, then the food that's offered to you by a stranger might be dangerous. Don't accept anything from strangers. What we choose to ingest has power. And so it's important to choose the power that we take in with care and wisdom. So there we go. We're going back to this, stepping into your power energy, right? Hunger is common in fairy tales, but we should always be aware of its consequences. As with the mother in Rapunzel, who craves a leafy green plant that grows in a witch's garden, an insatiable hunger, one that blinds you to all else and overcomes your reason. It can cast a spell that allows others to have power over you. And so, in return for um, what's that? Assuaging? I don't like giving in to her hunger. The witch takes the mother's firstborn child. So, what are you hungering for right now? Will it nourish you or consume you? So, what a great energy about, do I need nourishment from the outside world? No, I fill up from the inside and go over. Because if I'm have this insatiable hunger of getting something from the outside world, I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to be poisoned by that. I'll be controlled by that instead of that freeing feeling from the inside. So I like that for you, Sudeshna. That's what they have for you, my dear. So have a blast if you want to, or have a miserable time if you want to. There's no right or wrong, just different experiences with different um, outcomes, right? All right. So that is what they have. Thank you again for your donation. All right. I think I have 3 more free readings. So even though I'm past my 3-hour mark, we'll finish those up because those will just take a moment here. So collect like a purr. You are up here. Let's grab your timestamp. Maybe. All right, there we go. Boom. So, how and when will you ever forget the pain? All right, let's take a look here. That's all. That's all you want. So, how? All right, thank you. And this is when. How? Well, 7 of Pentacles. I know, right? 7 Pentacles is the last thing that grows on the fruit tree is the fruit. And I feel like that's more the timing energy. It'll take some time, right? Time heals all wounds, right? And the 6 of Pentacles energy that comes in here. Oh, stepbrother asking about mom's death. Hasn't been around for 39 years. Oh, yeah. And this 6 of Pentacles energy, it's the how, it's the balancing of energy, right? It's realizing the out of balanced energy of how much I felt I had to give in order to receive. It has to do with worthiness, this, balancing energy. All this pentacle energy, especially the 6 going into the 7, progression, it takes time. But we realize, and that is something, when we balance the scales, we realize that the more someone is gone, the more that I'm fine. I've lived without them for how long, right? 39 years. But also, if it's someone that we deeply cared for, the more that we survive day after day after day, we realize how much of my worth I was putting, attaching, connecting to them being present, their actions or non-actions, um, his, let's say, actions and non-actions, their words or their silence, right? That it's, how do we get over the pain of losing someone, or any pain really, is realizing that the pain that we feel is fear. it's a prick in our heart. It's like when someone scares us, but it's an emotional pain, so it loops. It's not like realizing, oh, it's just this person. It's not a threat. The scary feeling goes away when we're startled, or we go around the corner and go, oh, it's just a coat. It's not a person. I'm calmed down. But when it's an emotional monster that keeps looping, then it's the a fear that keeps igniting over and over again. It's a and getting to the fear and understanding the fear of what it is. First, we have to calm down. We have to take a big deep breath and step back, into calmness. Because when we're in fight or flight mode, there's just looping the pain over and over again because our little inner child feels unsafe or out of control. It's going to do whatever it feels it needs to do to get in control again, which is usually it knocks out our intelligent, compassionate, loving side. So we end up doing stupid, unloving, uncompassionate things like a 2-year-old does to do whatever it needs to do to feel like it's safe and in control again. Once we come back to a place of safety and calmness, then we can question, what am I afraid of? What am I afraid of this situation or action or non-action, word or silence? What do I feel like this pain? What's at the root of it? What fear is there? And the more we can understand our fear around a situation, that's when we find our freedom. That's when things balance out. And that takes time sometimes. It doesn't have to. But if we want to get over the pain, it's about taking action. And to be able to get to that place where we can understand the pain, we need to change our focus from pain to higher vibration. If all I'm doing is focusing on my pain, I grow my pain. Focusing on joy, laughter, celebration, unconditional love, the more I can do that, then I can step away and be able to look at that over there. When I'm in it, growing it, I can't make heads or tails of it because I'm tumbling around in it. But once I'm able to get my energy where I can step out and from a calm place look at it, then I can release the pain. But if I'm just growing the pain and focusing on the pain, what am I going to get? Just more pain, right? So hopefully that helps a little bit there. That's what they have for you. Right. And then next up, we have bunny cards at 3 minutes. 3 hours, 12 minutes even. So let's grab your timestamp here. All right. So you wanted to know if there's what your first kid will be like. She's doing December. Ah, I love that. So let's take a look here and see what she wants to share with you. All right, thank you. Oh no. All right. I like it. She's going to be a little stubborn with the 9 of Wands. She very much wants things her way. She's going to be a little, no, I want my way, my way. She's also very, 7 of Pentacles, a very patient person. That comes in here too. So I feel like that combination is going to be so beautiful later in life. I'm sorry, Mom. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, because it's like, I'm going to get my way and I'm going to, because like I'm stubbornness with patience is someone that's very determined, like they will work at something till they get it. So I like that determination, that perseverance energy. But also the opposite of that is um I don't care what you do to me. I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I want to do what I want to do. Well, you're going to go stand in the corner until you do it. Fine. 3 hours later, have you had enough? No. You're like, wow. Wow. So you might like do some pre-work on like some pre-investigation on how to a different approach, because I don't feel like punishment is going to work well at all. Um, it's just going to make them feel like a martyr. Yes, I stood in the corner 3 hours. I whittled her down. I got what I wanted. Instead, it's like, I feel like praise, not praise, but reward and kind of treating them like a little adult from when they're very young, I feel like is going to work a lot better. Like, it's very important. Like, if you're going to tell them, you must wear these clothes, no. But if you go, hey, do you want to wear these pants or these pants? Then they'll be like, I want those. All right, there you go. And then you want this shirt or this shirt. I'll take that. Right? Is it the curse of the mother? I hope you end up with a child just like you. But giving choices, I think, will allow them, because reminding me of I think it was my second relationship. They had a 2-year-old child. And whenever I went out to dinner with them, they'd go, what do you want to drink? And they'd be like, soda. No, you can't have soda. And they goes, because you just said, what do you want? And then said, no, you can't have what you want. What do you expect from a 2-year-old? Right. So it was like, do you want orange juice or milk? And they're like, I'll have juice. And they looked at me like, what kind of wizard are you? You just had them, I brought them down from their thingy and go, "Buh, buh, 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 buh." And they're like, what? Do you want orange juice or do you want this? And they were like, oh, I'll have that. So it's like that choice and that freedom is good for them, especially. So I feel like that's a big piece of it. But I like the different expressions of that comes in there. Um, well, it is choice. You are giving them choice, um, and you're allowing them to choose and feeling a part of it, because you're allowing them to choose, but you're giving them choices that they want. Sometimes they're like, I don't want any of that. All right, would you like this or this? And sometimes allowing them to choose something like, I don't want it, I want soda. You're like, you know what? This time I we'll let you have soda. All right. Because you're going to grandma's after this, and that's okay. She'll get to deal with you on sugar, and you'll stay awake for her. But that's funny. So anyway, I feel like that's what they have for you right now, bunny cards. So many blessings to you. Don't tell your mom. There's the curse, right? You're very welcome. All right. And then AF Gemini, you are up. Let's grab your timestamp here. I think I saw you reading. Yeah, there it is right there. I was like, I thought I saw you in here. There you are. All right. You're very welcome, bunny. All right. I think that's it, right? Yeah. Okay, so AF Gemini. A reading for tomorrow. Let's see. What does Spirit want you to know about tomorrow? No, none of those. Let me shuffle these up here. Absolutely. Got this one. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. I want this one. All right. What do we got? What do we got coming in here? Ooh, all right. Well, you've got the Knight of Pentacles, which is the slowest moving knight that's coming in here. I know. Sorry, I took your question, right? It's all knowledge. It's just information. And the Six of Cups has to do with, it is child energy that's coming in here. And I feel like there's this, it has to do with timing and patience. And I know we hate that, but the Six of Cups is a reminder of multiple lifetimes. It's like you've got eternity. And it's just a great reminder that things are always progressing and things are always unfolding. And there really is no time. That's a human construct that's brought in to help us feel anxious or impatient because we're taught this should happen by this time. This needs to happen. This is all these expectations around timing drive us crazy as humans, right? But they're reminding me when I visited my dad in Hawaii, like a decade ago, he was like, um, "We're gonna head this direction, and we're just gonna see. We'll just see when we get there because we're on Hawaii time, which is we're gonna get there when we get there. There's like no rushing to get anywhere. One, because there's a lot of traffic in Oahu where they were living in Honolulu at the time. But also people are not in a rush. They're just like do 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 do, and you're just like, yep, we're just gonna get there. And it's a very laid back, go with the flow type of energy that they're bringing in. And it's like you got all eternity, all the time in worlds, not just this world, but all the worlds. So just know that things are unfolding, things are progressing, always in perfect timing. And we can trust that the timing is going to be perfect, even if it doesn't match up to our brain, our expectations, that all this opinion we've been given around when something is supposed to take place. It's like for tomorrow, just know that tomorrow is going to bring the perfect things that come in with that. So hopefully that helps a little bit with it. So it feels like maybe something isn't going to unfold exactly when we want it to, and that's okay. It's going to unfold and it's going to, progress forward in its own perfect timing. Ah, I know, but you can trust it. You can trust divine timing. All right. So that is your message. Uh, and I'm sorry. All right. Hey, Debbie O. Hey, I'm on my way out. Keeps your skin young in Texas. A little bit of humidity there on the coast. All right. Very good. So that is it for this session, everybody. I will be back tomorrow. I'm on tomorrow and Sunday morning from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Mountain Time. And then tomorrow night, too, from 6 to 9 p.m. Mountain Time. So I shall return. After I'm done, I will post a pinned comment listing all the order of the readings. Well, not the order, but all the readings with timestamps. So you can find your name and click on it. It'll take you right to your reading if you have come back on. So until I see you guys again, remember every second of every day of your life that you truly are eternally and unconditionally loved by the mother and father of all things, our creator. And of course, I love you too. So until I see you again, much love. Hang in there. Take care of yourself. Remember, have some fun because we're on a giant playground. Let's go play. Why are we being so serious? All right, everybody. Much love to you. We'll see you soon. Good night.